Morning, everyone. Let's move this camera around. Budged it at the weekend, clearly. All right, morning, everyone. How we doing? How we doing? Hope you're good. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you're rested. Maybe some of you caught the longs overnight. Maybe some of you have caught the range and faded it back inside. But I hope you're all doing well. All right, feeling rested, ready to trade this week. Not much news coming today, but anyone that's had a look ahead, maybe check the newsletter. Big week ahead. All right, FOMC coming Wednesday. Most of the Mag 7 earnings this week. We've positioned long for them for the last, I don't know, what, 2-3 weeks? This is week 4. So they positioned for long for them. Like I said, the only thing I'm aware of is a sell the news type event. But let's get into it. Daily. Okay, daily, we're still very bullish. If we zoom out, we're holding above all key pivots. It'd be lovely if at some point in the next month we'd come back and retest this and make up our mind if we're going back bullish or if this is going to be a fail break and a trade back inside. But until that point, we're bullish. All right, overall is bullish. Daily is bullish. We're above the 5-day. We have room to go into this top Bollinger Band, which continues to extend. Hopefully, eventually, we'll get this 20-day moving up to support action. It's going to take some time. Overnight, though, we have had a fail breakout, all right, or at least for now, there's a trade back inside. So we're opening up inside Friday's range. We're actually opening up inside Friday's value, and there is some form of fail breakout. Let's move this down. So let's move on to the hourly charts, and we can have more of a look at that. I'm going to pull this one up a little bit. All right, you can see overnight high. I've set it to the all-time high. We have a flat top up there. All right, so I wouldn't say that would be the high. At some point, we'll take that. It doesn't have to be today, but this is unusual to leave a high print like that at the highs overnight, and it just be left in that fashion. We're trading back down towards our RBS zone. So on Friday, this is our breakout point. If we think about Friday morning, broke out, retested, came back up, lower high, back down into this. Question is this an hourly 2-leg to continue higher? Do we need to develop some range here because we're extended, right? Or are we going to see failures underneath for that pullback into previous day value area low, maybe even previous week value area high? We're just going to have to see, folks, because we're opening up just in a consolidated area right now. If we just zoom in here, you can think about Friday's value, all right? Low, high, POC, overnight POC is basically the same point. Overnight value area high is basically here, all right, and overnight value area low, sorry, I'm just looking at lower time frame charts, is here. So this is our range right now. We're basically stuck between 500 and 400 in a 100-point rotation, which is kind of within last week's parameters as well. So we've got to be aware of that as we move in. If you're saying, hey, why have you just said the overnight levels are slightly different? I was watching the 5-minute levels because they're a bit more accurate than the 1-minute levels for value. All right, so you can see we're just trading inside right now. So this is the big question. This is our over-under 350. All right, this is our value area high for, this is our high volume node for gamma, and it's our RBS zone that we came into on that Sunday. You can see there's Friday's RBS zone. Sunday, flush down, held, drive up, come back, higher low, still trading between these. So technically bullish. If we trade under this and reject, that's where we're firm bearish. All right, that's where, at least on the session, we can come bearish for a drive down into some of these levels. Otherwise, we can build out liquidity here, which can be bullish liquidity to continue this rally higher. Okay, so we have to be aware of both sides of the tape right now. Okay, moving into the lower time frames, and we'll go through all the other indexes. I'm going to sneeze here. Probably not going to come now because I called it. No, okay. All right, opening up. Like we can see, right previous day's point of control, right at overnight's point of control, in overnight value, inside Friday's value, with some highs to go and take if we want. Again, this is our big zone right here. Okay, New York view up, high volume node, RBS. All right, under here, drive. Look below and fail, back into range. Hold this, range rotation. All right, so just be aware of that. I want to see how we react here and how we react here before I make any decisions for how this market might move today, especially when we see what's going on in the mag, and I'll show you that very shortly. ES, same kind of setup here, okay? Very similar coming into this RBS zone. It's actually way higher on its high volume node, which is down here on options. So if ES does lose these view ups and lose sort of 75s, all right, under here, then we can look for that fade, That might help the cues. So ES, I'd be watching 75s as you're under over. If we pull under and start to reject it, there's probably a drive down into the 50s. Right, on ES, you can see 3 drives, 1, 2, 3, starting to look potential backside under here. Otherwise, trap and go, and this is where they're trying to get to over the next few days. 230 is their big target if they can get up there on the ES right now. All right, let's have a look at the spiders. Same kind of story here. Indexes. All right, opening up between its 2 VWAP. Surprise, surprise. All right. 24-hour VWAP, New York VWAP. New York VWAP will obviously shift up here the moment we open, but from Friday, we're balanced between, you can see this is the range we've created Friday and overnight. So if we start to lose this bid, you can see the high volume node on SPY much higher than ES. We do have a bit of divergence there in the options chain. If we lose this, all right, they're thinking about that move down to 12s. That's your RBS zone. So I would be watching that. If you start to lose the 13s, right, we'd be watching this move down to 12s. If we move 12s, we leave 12s, we'll see weakness. But I'd say that would be a pretty big level for bulls to hold on to. So if you're playing the spiders today, you're watching a rotation in here. You're watching for a look below and fail in here, or a sustained auction lower underneath that. That's your level. 712s is a big level, as is 713s. Qs, same story. All right, new high put in overnight. We're trading back inside. You can see high volume node is right in our RBS zone. All right, right here. All right, that's the area that bulls want to hold. That's the equivalent of whatever I said, 350s was it on NQ? That's the level. All right, so anything in here, you'd expect bulls to try and defend it. If they can't defend it, you will see weakness start to enter this market. It can still just be a higher time frame pullback, but it will be deemed as a form of weakness if we lose that. Above this, positive gamma. Under this, we can go into a slide. Dixie, falling off, all right, as expected, all right, with the market driving higher. So Dixie starting to sell back off. We might see, we'll have to see how metals react this week with everything going on. Obviously, still got war headlines. You would have seen over the weekend, Trump not sending his compadres over there. He said they can give us a call if they want to get something done. So we'll wait to see on news this week for that. VIX remains elevated, all right, still in the teens. As you can see, we are still in the teens. We've built out a giant range here, basically 20 to 19 since last week. All right, so we've had a week squeezed in here. This cannot last forever when we do this on the VIX. So it's not, we've got enough volatility this week that I think you're probably going to see a break of it. So just be aware of that on the VIX. All right, MAG, this is where it gets interesting. All right, this is where it gets interesting. Apple, big gap down. All right, iPhone sales data came out this morning. They're gapping down on that. Sales actually look strong, but what it is there's news of an AI phone being developed or something like that. All right, so if they use this liquidity to go lower, that would be your break. All right, so we're watching that, but decent gap down on Apple, down about $3 right now, or just over 1%. So worth watching. Amazon, all right, just had a drive out and fail. All right, and coming back to flat. So big drive out and fail. Let me just zoom out. Are we at highs? Yes. Okay, just checking. Just had to check. All right, so Amazon drive out to new all-time highs, failing back inside the range, opening up flat by the looks of it. All right, so maybe some news just came out there not long ago. Goog still has strength. All right, this is the one that's gapping up. This is its RBS zone, remember. So if Goog can hold a bid here, it can keep going. We can watch this. If Goog starts to leave this after multiple attempts, you will see that closing the gap. And if they lose this node on Goog, you're going to see that move back down to the 340. So it's worth watching there because it's been the one that's been very, very strong. Meta gapping down. This is where we're going to start seeing the ones that are starting to lose the bid. Again, big RBS zone here on Meta. Right? Is it willing to hold the bid at sort of 70s? It needs to hold the bid there to continue. If it fails, we're coming back into this block here. Microsoft. Wow. News there, clearly. I might have just missed that. Missed earnings due to AI spend. Shares plunged 10% in after this last week. What if we just had come out there? I might have just missed that, but we'll see. That's a big rally off those lows. So they're still, that's very, very, very volatile. That's insane. All right, we're watching that. We'll watch the close price, but gap down on Microsoft. Nvidia selling with it, it looks like. We gapped up on Nvidia sweat the liquidity coming back down into this zone, the 10s, right? Can they hold the 10s? If not, gap fill down here into 08s. Tesla's gapping down as well and selling. So you can see mixed bag on the mag, and Microsoft's the one that really doesn't know. Let's have a quick look at some of the broader names. Oracle still inside of Friday's range, but that started to pull off a bit. AMD has been absolutely turbo. I sold Friday, right? I'm down to very, very small size. This move's over exaggerated. It started having price cuts today, right, where they think it's trading way too high. So we'll see. Like, maybe if chips keep going, this keeps squeezing. But I mean, I'm up 130 odd %. I had to lock some in, so I expect this to come down here in the next week or two, and then we can think about whether it wants to hold on or not. Netflix coming back in as well. This is getting interesting to some of the levels I want to buy at, and I'm looking for an undercut of here to then bid back up if we're going to hold. Hood, the same kind of story. So some of these names coming in a bit. We'll see if we can come in early week and catch a bid for the break back out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm really interested in some of these names. I'm also starting to have a little look at some of these. All right, some of the high options kind of plays here around the semiconductors. So IONQ, MBTS, those are, I'm not going to say anymore. Those in Discord, worth having a look at the swings that I'm looking at. There are a couple of small caps there I'm interested in positioning in early if we start to hold bids. All right, only if this market comes back in and hold bids. I don't want to be buying extremes, but I'm interested. Right, let's just have a little look-see here. All right, so we're trading under previous day point of control now, under overnight point of control, under previous day close, as is ES, and we're right into the RBS zone. Let me just check some mainstream news, get ready to cut. Yeah, I mean, if it's in the news, it's in the price. It's certainly in the price. Like I said, I've been selling. I've been selling, mate, last week. Right, that was a ridiculous 18 days. 18 days we hit on the ETF chip names like we talked about. That is not sustainable. It is just not sustainable. So that's where we're at with those. Let me see if I can get you guys live here so I can see. Let me just check the softy news here very, very quickly. Announcing its OpenAI license will now be non-exclusive and will no longer pay revenue share to OpenAI. Okay, so losing its exclusivity. Well, we'll just have to see how the market responds to that. That's very volatile over there in softy. It's already reclaimed it all. So we hit a high of 428, flushed all the way down to 405s, and we're right back at 422s. So a volatile open I would expect here this morning, given what's going on there. But yeah, I'm going to wait for extremes here. I want to see how we act in here. All right, do we find bids in here? Do we lose this for a sell? Do we pop up here and fail previous day value area high and go into a rotation? Or do we hold this and try and take out overnight highs above? That's what I'm looking for. I wouldn't be surprised to see this market pull back in the next few sessions, as we've been very, very extended, but we're just going to have to see, folks. We're going to have to see. Market overall is bullish, but probably could do with a bit of consolidation again, a bit like the beginning of last week. We did break out Friday, and we'll see if we want to go into consolidation. These high gamma, high volume nodes on the options, I think, are going to be pretty important early week. Remember, most of our positioning will happen Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week. All right, here we go, team. 20 seconds left. Good luck. You know what I'm looking for. I'm waiting to see how we act here and up here. And this might be a bit of a wild one at the open. I'm going to warn you now, given what Softy's doing. Here we go. Here's the opening drive. So failing straight away and then finding a rebid up to PDC, failing PDC. They're going to see if they can get through PDC and go to PDH, or previous day value area high, sorry, I should say. Bids are trying to come in here. Market doesn't know what to do. Like I said, very volatile as expected. Pops are starting to fail here though in the early morning. Buyers just got trapped above 25. So let's see if they're going to wash this or not under current VPOC on the day underneath here. Remember, the blue box will be their target if they do sell this, and then what happens under that's going to become very, very, very important. So I'm going to see if a short does set up here early for this sell. Here we go. Lovely. All right, covering some here. Oh, can I get my stop down for the runners? That was very quick and aggressive into the blue box. There we go. So locking in there in the blue box. It's a bit like Friday. So PDC tagged straight into the blue box. I didn't get the best cover there, I'll be honest. Couldn't move my stop quick enough. How we act here now becomes important. Are they willing to find a bid here or not? Are they willing to find a bid here or not? That was very, very fast moving once we rejected. So I'm all out there because I couldn't move my stop down quick enough, unfortunately, but we'll see. Buyers buyers will want to protect this level. They will absolutely want to protect this level. So this is where we have to wait and see now. If pops start to fail and if we start to fade under this level, or buyers are just going to use this level as the RBS zone like we talked about. That's why it's blue. This is demand. Right, so the options here are buyers come and start to protect this. If we can get a drawing in for you guys. Can we get a drawing in for you guys? There we go. Something like this, or rejection and a failure, right, in this box, like we talked about pre-market. That's what we're watching. I did get that flush back down, so that was pretty decent there. I can show you. I've got it on my TPT accounts. I could have got a much better cover if I could have moved my stop a little bit quicker. It would have helped, but there we go. Okay, let's just see. Yeah, SPY catching a bid again. Where from? 713s. What do we say? That's your level on SPY. All right, it's the options level. That's the equivalent of down here for us. 350 is our over under. Like bulls will want to protect 350. We went over it pre-market. We went over it in Discord. The blue box is where they want to protect. They start losing the blue box, everything changes. Everything changes. All right. SPY really getting going here. Absolutely flying to the upside right now. Breaking out PDC right now. It's a big move. Like I said, it is going to be volatile today given what we're seeing going on in the mag names. VIX still flat. It's a big divergence here. SPY way up here right now. Mag still very, very heavy. So I'll give you a readout. Apple 1.44% down. Amazon 0.65% down. Google 0.22% down. Meta 0.33% up. Microsoft 0.88% down. Nvidia 0.88% up. Tesla 1.59% down. Overall flat, equal weighted, 0.5% down. We're seeing weakness in tech right now as we pull back into this blue box. And this is what's important now. Are we going to start to break down for continuation here, or are bulls going to defend this and hold a bid? So we're seeing lots of bulls right now sat at 60, 55s, 50s, and 30s. We'll see if we can extend down into there, if we're going to have this bear flag breakdown underneath. Remember, this is also our Sunday low. Right, this is our Sunday low. So bear flag starting to look like it wants to come and tap into this. It just depends whether they can get through all these big buyers who are sat down here right now. And massive divergence. This ES prints a new high of day. Another day of divergence. Still being absorbed down here. You can see it on Bookmap above me. 360, 355, 350, 330. Still absorbing. I'd imagine we'll come and clean these guys out. Or at least fill them. So ES has filled its gap to the upside. SPY's filled its gap to the upside. QQQ's coming into its big options high volume node. 662, if you're wondering, which is the equivalent of 350 for us. All right, so we know bulls will want to defend that node. That keeps them in positive gamma for the day. They're looking for this breakdown here. This is your sort of opening low territory from Sunday. Can they get under all of this and see weakness start to enter the market? Very, very different markets right now. Right, we're at low of day here. You can see the bids are still there. 60, 55, 50, 30s. I'm wondering if we just flush down and fill them all. But not if ES is going to keep holding the highs. We're not going to. They're trying, but they're going to find it difficult if ES keeps going up like this. So major divergence at the open again. Surprise, surprise. Nothing to bid on yet. All right, it's an area of interest, but we're not seeing a shift. I think this market wants to come and clean some of these guys out. That was a 360 tag. They still didn't fill him. Yes, right up at its highest day in PDC. So major divergence here, folks. All of the mag now red other than Nvidia, which is continuing to print new highs. So you are seeing chips sort of run away with it right now. In fact, let me have a look at... yeah, Intel grabbing a bid up to previous day high as well. AMD weak on that downgrade this morning. I'm glad I sold AMD on Friday. I did post that in Discord and on Twitter. Okay, here we go. It looks like they're going to try and do this move down towards this high volume node here that we talked about. Like trying to fill these guys. So they filled 360. They've got to fill all the way down to 330 if they want to fill all the buyers. So this bear flag breakdown starting to take place. SPY rejecting now, coming back inside to VWAP. So how it acts here at VWAP will be key. And it's trying to find a bid. So just that first trade for me so far, just waiting. It's a nice reaction in front of this high volume node. Not enough yet for me to get bullish. There are some bears starting to get absorbed down here, but I'm still just watching the tape. Everything under 80s so far has been a sell, which has been absorbed, so that you can be aware, all right? Everything so far under 80s has been aggressive selling, which is being absorbed, but we'll have to wait and see. And it's the start of the reaction. Maybe some of you are bidding on it early. I'm not going to bid on it early. For me, it's got to come back in and start to hold. It's got to prove itself to me. If we're just going to go unidirectional up, it's going to be very hard. Short bias, no, just short bias down into here. Long bias overall. Short bias continues if we break under this. Yeah, like we talked about. We just drew it out. This or this. We just need to wait to see if this is willing to hold now. The divergence is going to make it very difficult. Care to explain the opening trade? Sure. Gap fill, failed gap, failed VWAP, failed point of control, failed New York Open, short down to where? Support. That's it. It's just a scalp. All right. Opening drive, failed key levels, rotation back down. In structure, bearish. Down to here, high time frame bullish zone, this blue box. This is why we're seeing a reaction of this zone. Right, this is our RBS zone. Oh, don't move that. It's very important. That's the RBS zone, like we talked about. We expect the market to try and hold there. I'm not bidding on this on that first attempt down, but they have trapped bears down there at the moment. I need this to come back in and prove to me it wants to hold. But like we said, the divergence is absolutely huge right now. So it'd be nice. It would have been nice if they didn't just move aggressively away so quickly, and if they did, you know, more of a dance down here like this, rather than sitting in this range. Where's my volume gone? Get that volume back on. There we go. All right, so again, buyers now want to defend this shelf at sort of 80. Sellers came in very aggressive at 80 and under. The buyers will want to defend 80s if they're going to look for an upside lift. Your ATR is pretty high. Just be aware of that. ES continuing to move higher, new high of day. Coming up to previous day high on the spiders here. This is going to be a big level. Previous day high is previous week high. This is a big level. Do they profit take on the spiders here, or do you see a breakout? Meta now gone green on the day. Google gone, or trying to go red to green. Stuck there at the moment on ES at previous day high, which is also previous week high. So we'll watch these 80s here. If we start to break below 80s, then a new low is going to come. So this little shelf here is important for bulls to try and protect, because it's sell side delta underneath that. So again, I'm willing to play short underneath all of this, and I'm willing to play long if we pull back in and start to see absorption. Here's the move back towards 80s. It's got to come back a bit further first. Very concerned about ES failing that previous day high up there, about the timing of this. We've hit 88. I'm looking for it to trade back down towards sort of 78, 82-ish to see how we act. There's the imbalance field. Yes, still pulling back in. If we stay heavy, I'll rejoin for the sells underneath. Right, this is the hold. This is the first attempt of these sellers. Sellers are still piling in. There's no way I'm long in this right now. And ES is coming back into PDC. This might be more failure. We might be looking for more lows here. Right into this node. So we just held VPOC. Sellers are piling in right now. They're still piling in. This, we might break down under this blue box soon. We'll have to wait and see. I don't want to get caught in no man's land here. It's a very sensitive area. If you look at the difference, ES has failed previous day high, pulled back into PDC, caught a bid at PDC. We are continuing to rotate sellers here into the area where they last got stuck. So I don't want to enter a sell right now where we just got stuck, but I'm not seeing absorption and a reaction to be buy side either. So I'm just trying to be patient, let this market figure itself out. ES looks really good. That's the one you want to be long on today. Relative strength in ES. We want to be short on NQ if we're going to fail, because we're 0.20% down on NQ and we're 0.03% up on ES. Yeah, massive divergence. Is healthcare catching a bid again? Oscar's caught a bid, not much else. ES failing again, so back at PDC again. You've got to think, if this starts to fail PDC and VWAPs on ES, we're going to move downside. If that morning drive in ES gets sold into, it's going to be a problem. We're right in this big node. We start letting go of this, we're going to come and re-tack into this blue box, and then we'll see if bears get caught down there, or if we see the follow through today. Here we go, value area low for the session. Once we start moving under 70s, bears are going to start to feel a bit more comfortable. ES coming right back to VWAP. Okay, I'm watching this to see if we're going to follow through or not in this blue box underneath. This is value area low of from Sunday open right now, right here. We know under here, weakness can start. Trying to be really patient. I think we might sell here if ES starts to join this. Well, definitely will if ES joins it. ES to VWAP. Divergence still here, but ES coming back inside. It failed to take out previous day high, like I said. That might be a tell. It's interesting. Nvidia pulling back in. Some of the rest of the market's trying to grab a bid. Google's trying to find a bid. Meta's trying to find a bid. Nvidia's come right back in. Right, this is where the sellers last got stuck. If they resell this now, we were going to see a flush down to 50. So I'm watching this to see an extension down here. I'd say they'd need to stay heavy versus 80s, really, to get the extension. Any reclaim of 80s, then all the sellers down here will get caught. There's the 80 reclaim, so all the sellers now caught, so we might lift now while they bugger around, and ES finding a bid on VWAP. This is going to be really messy for a while, I think, with the divergence. AMD's still tanking? Yeah, I mean, it's 4.5% down. It's getting absolutely wrecked. That's why we took profits last week. I mean, it was those chip names are way overextended, man. Like, they're way, 18 days green, way overextended. I can't believe this divergence, how much it is. Let me have a look at the broader market. This is kind of wild. FinViz. No, FinViz doesn't want to load. You going to open up today? Can't even get their website open. Is it down? Or just full of bugs? Won't close either. All right, my browser doesn't like that website at all. All right, bulls now trying to protect 80s, but their buyer just got stuck there at value area high up here. Still feels like we want to break lower. ES now trying to join the pain to come back down inside. Sellers piling back in at 70s. I will join if we start to lose all of this. I'm trying to be really patient because I don't want to get caught in the divergence while it makes its mind up. I got a feeling we're going to start washing aggressively here. So especially if ES comes back under that New York Open, you're starting to see pain enter this market. So let's see if they extend this down to 50s and then what happens down there. That's a big, big level. And I'm willing to play sell side if we start to stay heavy under it and reject. So low of day, tapping into. Remember, 50s is your big, big, big level. ES, if ES rejects VWAP on the tap back in here and resells down and comes under New York Open, then we'll be into a sell day. SPY, the same kind of story. Q's is coming right into that 62 level. So Q's into this high volume node with us. This is the big, big options level. This is our under over level. Very, very volatile around this level, folks. All right. It will be very volatile around this level. If we start to let go, we will see that bigger fail back in. And if we do, we can target down to 260s and 150s. And then we can look for previous week value area high if we get very, very heavy. Look at that. To the tick, finding a bid. So no shorts until we get underneath all of this for me, for a reason, for that exact reason. Sellers are trapped. Well, not yet. We haven't moved away from it yet. All right, they're only trapped if we move away from it. Sellers have come in very heavy at 80 and under, but we're not above 80 yet, are we? All right, we're still in heavy delta. They're still trying to move lower. ES is coming into it. There you go. So are they trapped? No. You're being apprehensive of it. Right, let's see now if we reject and stay heavy for continuation. So if we start to stay heavy now versus 60s, we're going to look for sells. This is why you have to learn to read the tape. Don't say things which aren't true, folks. All right, please. You have to understand, no one's trapped if they are in the money. All right, we just tagged into Sunday's low here as well. I've got that on my Ninja Trader. We just tagged Sunday's low. Yeah, you definitely were wrong because you were saying what you wanted to see, not what you were seeing. Right? All you were saying is that what you should have been saying is sellers are aggressive here. They were aggressive, but they're not trapped unless we move away from them. Technically, sellers are comfortable until we move back above 82s, right? Above 82s, sellers are in pain. They're definitely not in pain right now. Right, ES starting to reject as well. So I'm watching to see if we continue lower here, to see if I can get something on. Ideally, the shelf at sort of 70s. A little lift up there to see if they stay heavy. Any reclaim of that, there's no real ability to sell. We have just swept big levels. So we'll see here into this kind of level here. If they're going to flip this blue box, it's a big if, remember, because they can now do the move that we talked about pre-market. So we're either going to see this or we're going to see this. All right, so this is the level. We talked about this before the open. This is what I'm looking for. So watching this push back in. There's still some selling up at 80s and other guys at 10. So not in yet, just waiting to see what happens here. Do we lift and sell or do we reclaim and use it as the trap now? Here's the 80s. This is a big level. 70s to 80s, huge level. Yes, coming back up to New York Open. Also back inside its positive gamma level. And in its last 5 minutes, everyone has sold at sort of 40s and under. Everyone sold 40s and under. So I'm going to see a little bit of a rejection here at 80s. I'm not convinced yet because sellers are still moving upside at 415s and 420s. There is a few lots dangled here at 80s, but it's not much yet. Not seeing buyers get caught up here yet. So level of interest for me. Sellers coming in now. All right. Next pop I'm going to join if it would give me one. Here's 40s. Nice breakdown here. Here we go. Okay. So watching 80s and 50s here. Just watching the tape here. Sellers coming flying in here now. Come on, just break down now. Bids at 30s and 20s. Here we go. So in this, see if we can get a bit continuation now down to here, ideally. We can trim some into this low if they protect it, but I'm looking to trade down into 63s now. This is what we talked about, rejection of 70s and 80s. There we go. Finally. All right, so trimming a little piece here. This is what we talked about, turning this blue box into resistance. This is our target. We had to be very patient for it this morning. Beautiful. All right, trimming a little piece. Wanting to see ES join in and do the same thing because we still have divergence, folks. We have major divergence. Just going to try and let this runner work now. Again, this was drawn out for you pre-market. So this blue, yes, beautiful. This blue box now becomes red, right? RBS, we're flipping it to red, and we're trying to get down to here. Nice start to a Monday. Here we go, team. Just took a minute. It took a minute. All right, big buyers coming in here at the lows. Makes me think we're going to auction lower still. Careful of ES. It's still unwilling to break down at these lows, so we're wiggling around here with the divergence. If we can get NVIDIA and Goog to go green to red, we might nuke this today. It might be game over market for a little bit. And we'll see. But this is what we talked about. Again, this is why you have to get here for the pre-market part of the show. It's so important that you can understand the pathing and the whys. Right, getting closer and closer and closer. Let's see if we can get down into 60s. Ideally, we can. We are into a sort of a little bit of an RBS zone from Friday morning pre-market. So we want to be careful. Not even pre-market, all the way up to the 10 to 11 o'clock transition is into 90s. So we want to be careful here. We might find a response here. Ideally, we trade lower, but it's very possible we find a response here based on the hourly charts, right? Based on the hourly charts. So we're coming into a block. I can show you. All right, we're coming into the block. All right, so we've now... This is our failure to make a new high, right? This is our failed follow through. This is our neckline break. We're trading into here. We're trimming profits into here. If we let go of previous day's value area low, we can think about the move to previous week value area high, but we must pay ourselves some into here. You can't hear me? Well, I don't know what to tell you. Turn your volume up. You're just another guy saying stuff without checking your own things. All right, a bit of a response here. Like I said, it's very possible we find a response here based on the hourly. So you should have paid yourself a good chunk. If they start to reclaim up here of 50s, you want to be careful. ES already back straight up to VWAP. Right, ES straight up to its VWAP. So be careful here. Divergence still playing, and it didn't make a new low. So we want to stay heavy here, really at these 50s, at the value area low up here. If we reclaim that, I'd say it's night-night for the shorts, and we go back inside the range. So this is the level which we trade into now. They need to reject this level for the sells. Otherwise, you're going to see a squeeze back upside. So we want to be careful of this move here, all right? Because we've come down into this block. If we start to reclaim, we stay heavy. If we reject, we can start to rotate this move down again, like we talked about in the morning. So I'll be watching 50s here, really, for the sells. And if they reclaim 50s, certainly if they reclaim 68, 70s, no more sells for the day. That'll be the dip and hold. So this red box is key. And look at ES. Where is this huge divergence coming from? It's massive. It is massive. ES right away up here right now. Okay, so no more shorts now. Be done with it. And if they start a base above here, they can really get going. That can be the pullback and the reclaim, the look below and fail. So if they base above here, we can think about longs, right? If they can do this, we can think about longs for the day. Look at that response. It's amazing. There we go, bids flying in. So we need pullbacks to start to hold here. Divergence still absolutely huge. Like we said, H1 might find a bid down there. It certainly did find a bid down there. And any pullback which now is willing to hold the edge of this, we can see upside moves, but they've got to pull back in. I'm not going to chase this up here, not after a response like this. 100-point move in 2.5 minutes. Did Trump say something? I don't think so. I haven't seen anything. I just think it's H1 levels. It's just understanding where the trap would form. Right, the trap will always form here. Underneath this blue box, which became red, a reclaim of that we can squeeze, right? Underneath this blue box, which reclaim red, underneath that we can squeeze. Here's your return in. The battle now is here and here. This is the battle zone for control. This can be a failed look below and a reclaim. Doesn't have to, but ES is going to make it very, very hard. There's a really nice move on that H1. Right, bid's starting to come in here at 70s to 55, so they're trying to support the bid back up. It's so tempting to get long here. I'd like it to come further in though. What's that level there? We just held that seller at 72. So if you are long here, I think you've got to hold 72s really, or definitely need to hold the 50s. Does the box change to blue now? I'd say it's like grey now, but it could be blue, yes. But we'll just use it as an under-over. Remember, 350 was our under-over today. 350 was our under-over today. All right, we put it. There you go. All right, 27,350 is your over-under. Under it, heavy. Over it, can squeeze. That's the level. What are those box numbers? What box numbers? These are options levels. They're not boxes. They're just options levels. Can I explain why I drew the box or I did? Based on volume. Volume, right? Boxes are always based on volume. I'm really unconvinced in this market in general, but Qs look like they want to get going now. VIX is still going nowhere, but Qs look like they want to get going now. Maybe they can close the gap again upside. So New York Open here important. If you did grab long on the reclaim of 350, you want to be trimming some up here, that's for sure, because we can still fail. You're at value area high on the session. It can still fail up here. Ideally, we start to base above now. If we can get back above 415s and start to base up there, then we can really see a move back higher today. If we can start to base up here, remember we've left short stops here. So guys that took the shorts with me who haven't recovered yet, not you as in big players, if we can base up here, this becomes available now. So we've seen both sides of the trade, but you can see the importance of that New York Open. ES still at PDC, not taking out PDH yet. They've got a squeeze on here. If they can get up here and hold, there is a squeeze on. But I'd say until that point, you want to be paying yourself into this node. If you took longs on the 350 reclaim, I'm waiting for this to come back down. This was it. That 72 hold. That 72 hold against this seller was it. Right here. That was all they offered. They left these imbalances lower. Right, so all these sellers got stuck buying at the bottom. A little excess underneath. Turn around and go. You have to be very quick on the trigger today to get that. Didn't give you a reload chance at all. Made 600 on the short. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Good work. Yeah, I mean, the short was nice. It came in really, really good. Here comes the squeeze. So we're coming back up to current week and overnight PDC. So this level here is important. Right, they can reject this and pull back in. They can get over this and hold for a re-squeeze. All right, like I said, ES is still doing the dance. We're still just inside a range. Just remember, remind yourself where we are. Here's Friday's range. We're still inside of this, okay? That's point of control, fair value from Friday. this is fair value from the current session. All right, we're in fair value. This can chop here for a while they make a decision. I will remind you again, the big events come Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week. When does Apex pass an eval? Is it end of day? Yeah. You mean if you've already passed? Yeah, you'd have to wait till the end of day. It's not like Lucid where it's instant. Right, ES starting to absorb. Again, we've held above that 72s. Still looks like it wants more upside at the moment. Starting to bid over this node, the top of this node at the moment, starting to hold a bid. But you can see the rotation where we get choppy is in here. Right, this is where we get choppy. If they're willing to hold this and extend, that would be great. If they lose this again, this will happen. I just do not want to trade that area at the moment. How long we got left? The new hourly is here now. How does this hourly look? It's done a good reprice. Remember, still bullish overall in the market, especially above all this. What happens on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? Well, you've got FOMC and you've got earnings. You've got to be aware of like what we're pricing in at the moment. So earnings after close Wednesday. So we've got FOMC Wednesday and then after close Wednesday. Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Google. That's 4 of the big 7, right? And then after close Thursday, Apple. That's 5 of the big 7. So what do you think we're going to do? We're going to price stuff in, or we probably already have priced stuff in ready for those earnings. Like I said, I would be very concerned about the sell the news event coming this week. That would be my big concern. If we priced it in already and they don't do a blowout, or they do what is expected, or they do worse than expected, I think you might get a sell the news event. But we're just going to have to see when we get there. Can we enter a New York VWAP retracement? I mean, you can, but just know where you're playing in this chop. I mean, it would be, it's still a good hold. Look, this is a look below and fail now. This is absolutely a look below and fail. This can be bullish, but you got to understand we can chop in here. But if I'm more willing to enter here at the moment. I want to let them chop around here, because what I don't want to get stuck in, for me personally, it doesn't mean you can't do it. For me personally, we're trading between the 2 VWAPs. I don't want to long here and see this happen, because I'm still willing to play short underneath all this if we start to lose it, and I'm willing to play long up here. I just don't want to get chopped around here right now. Point of control, point of control, point of control, fair value, chop, 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 chop. Bullish overall, yes. Limiting my trades at the moment. How the swings doing? Oh, I'm glad I sold AMD. That was a good profit take on that on Friday. Let me just check some of these names that we talked about on Discord. See you later. Have a good day. No, that's not it. There we go, that's it. Nice, these are all coming in a bit. We'll see if dips hold this week. Guys that are playing swings with me in Discord, worth having a look at that swing channel of what I'm looking for this week if we start to hold in the quantum space. If we start to hold in the quantum space. Is my dad happy with car? Yeah. I've told him what I want for it. Might be, I might not get it because I might get all his profits. But yeah. Yes. I mean, his best cover, I think, was like 280, something like that, on the puts. And start getting short or taking the puts at 720. What does he trade? Anything I tell him. He's not active anymore. He literally called me like a couple of weeks ago. He's like, let me know if you've got something good. I'm not watching the market. So Carl was the first trade I gave him. And I gave him the semis to watch for puts soon for that mean reversion back in. All right, coming back down into this choppy node. Can I display a clock with seconds showing? I'm not sure if you're a few seconds behind me or if the queue's moved before. It'll be 6 seconds, mate. It's the fastest YouTube can do. Do I think 52s is too low to ask for a discount on the long? For what? For this? No. I mean, at the moment, you can see this zone here that they're trying to rotate this. Look, this is the battle right now. So I'm trying to stay out of it. You can see high volume, no battle, right? I would have loved to have just seen this. This would have been nice and cheap. We've not seen that. They're building out liquidity here. They're trying to get higher. This is the battle. But if they lose this, this is still available. Overall, we're bullish. H1 is still bullish. Daily is still bullish. Everything's still technically bullish. But this can be a range rotation day, which we all know Alex doesn't trade well. So I'm like trying to just let this do what it wants to do, especially with the divergence. Once it settles down and starts to develop a trend on the day, I'm more willing to join at the moment. We've had a really nice sell here. Well, for me too. For me, it was this and then this, and now I'm waiting. I'm willing to play upside, but I'm more willing to play upside here. I don't want to get chopped in this. I'm really trying to avoid this part here. Right, this is fair value. We will chop it. If we move away from that in either direction, I'm going to become more interested. Personally. But it's like we talked about last week, right? I become more profitable by not trading setups, which I'm not that good at doing. Oh, amazing. My wife just messaged me saying we can fire our old management property back home because I've been waiting to do that for months and she's been holding on. I cannot wait to send them that email. You are a joke. You are fired. You are fast. I took the first short. Yes, it was very quick. I mean, it was just reading order flow. Right? Rejected, probable move, short, cover. I mean, I didn't get the best cover. Like I said, I tried to tell my runners I couldn't move my stop down quick enough. I was using my hotkeys, could not move it down quick enough, tried to drag it with my mouse. But it's fine. We just wait and wait and wait now. Did I give the car trade to Discord? Yes. Yes, I give it before it happened, like I do with everything. Come up there. Volume spikes on car today. This was the day before it happened. I wouldn't be surprised to see a gap tomorrow. Retail get bagged. We'll just have to see. My old man's in puts. I'm not ready yet, but I'll get a cut of his. And then we talked about it. And then lots of them got it, especially Coop. There you go. There you go. What do I think of the attempt on Trump? I mean, I think it's a bit of a disgrace, really, that someone was able to get that close. I think it's not good. It's really bad. I know everyone's saying like the security acted really well and like maybe they did, but I don't understand how anyone is able to get anywhere near the building. But there we go. Like this is not good that we're living in a world where this is starting to happen. You're getting radicalism too much. Oh, I can't comment on anything beyond that. I can only go with the facts I know. Or that what I'm told. Okay, so like we said, starting to break down underneath this now. How we act here again is important. This is our over under. This is why I don't want to trade in this zone here, because we can churn and churn and churn and churn. So does this pullback now hold and they claim it, or are they going to let go of this whole thing? Again, the mag is in a bit of a mess here, folks. It really is in a bit of a mess here. Google's the one looking good. Nvidia's caught a bid again. But like, I'll give you a readout again. Tesla, 2.83% down. Microsoft, 1.10% down. Meta, 0.5% down. Amazon, 1% down. Apple, 1.26% down. The leader out here, Google, 1.5% up. Nvidia, 0.75% up. And then you look at the broader big tech names. Oracle, 2.33% down. AMD, 3.69% down. Netflix, just under 0.5% down. Hood, 0.84% down. AVGO, 1.24% down. You see what I mean with tech? Like, we're seeing starting to pull back in a bit. I just don't want to get caught in this market today while it churns everyone around. Quick question. Macro is bearish, and so Delta right now. Why are you looking for a retrace of the high volume into a sell? What macro is bearish? What are you talking about macro is bearish? Are you talking about ICT macro, or are you talking about the broader scope of macro? I mean, the broader scope of macro is not bearish right now. And so is Delta is bearish. I mean, but Delta has been selling all day at 80 down to 50, and we've not moved away from it yet. We're still just stuck. This is our over-under, right? We've talked about this all day. This is our over-under, and I can show you in here. Where did they sell aggressively? In here. Are we underneath all these sellers? No, so they're still stuck at the moment. Are we just chopping in this range? Yes. We're just chopping this range. Is Alex going to trade the chop? No, he's already told you he's not going to trade the chop. Why am I not entering? Because I'm not going to trade the chop, right? It's that simple for me. I'm not going to get chopped up. I'm going to wait. Look at the flow zones. Look, I'll go over it again. We'll go from a daily. Where are we in a daily? Inside, okay? First indication that's going to be chopped. Where are we versus previous day's value? Inside. Second indication that's going to be chopped. Where are we versus VWAP? Right by them. Third indication that's going to be chopped. Where are we in current session? Inside value. Fourth indication that's going to be chopped. Where are we versus overnight value? Inside value. Fifth indication that's going to be chopped. Where are the flow zones? Where are the point of controls? Where is everything? Flat. 6 indications that's going to be chopped. Why am I entering when I can't trade that well? Why? Why? That's what you have to ask yourself. Do I use different analysis when I want to do a swing? No, it's exactly the same. Markets move the same way, but I'm just more focused on weekly and daily levels, maybe even monthly sometimes. How many students are there in Discord? I think it's like 300 and something. I don't know. It's not big. It's a small room compared to other ones, but it's because we trade properly and we don't just let anyone in that wants to come in. I think it's like 300 something. I don't know how to see it. I'm pretty sure it's 300 and something. Have I ever looked into fractals? Yes. Still, we're just doing what? Nothing. Rotating the node. Did we hold the grey box? Yeah. So RBS is still holding. Are we still above 350? Yeah. Are we still inside this? Yeah. Like I said, I don't mind trading this here. If we start to develop a trend, I don't mind trading that there. This is just part of trading, guys. Like, you have to, like, you don't have to put risk on or be risk off when I do, right? If you like trading range rotation, right? If you're like, yeah, I'm buying that, I'm selling that, I'm buying that, I'm selling that, or you're waiting for extremes, I'm selling that, I'm covering some, I'm buying that back, or I'm buying that back. That's fine. I respect that. That's legit setups. I've talked very, very many times. I'm not the best trader of range rotation, especially when it's like this, very tight. So I increase my profit factor by ignoring this stuff. Back down we come again, rotating current day range again. Tyson saying, I do like trading range better than Alex, but it does get me in trouble. Yeah. 1, capital preservation. 2, risk management. 3, positive expectancy edge. 4, precision execution. Yeah, spot on. Spot on. Number 1, number 2, the most important things. You can see we're just like there's big players from both sides of the book right now. There's just no breakaway. And again, the mag has so much to do with it, folks. All right, like, yeah. All right, just look at this. All right, this has a lot to do with it right now. All right, Goog finding a bid and selling off from it. If this starts to let go, it gets more interesting. Nvidia the same. But these names have all been weak. All right, all been weak. You're really waiting for some form of alignment here. It's really like the main thing. It might be boring to sit here and that's the case, but that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for some form of alignment to take place. What caught a bid today? So financials are all green today. Healthcare's all green today. Energy's all green today. Utilities are all green today. That's what's keeping the ES up. Big losers in the market right now. Tesla, YUM, TER, all of the electronic components, and most of tech, other than Nvidia, MU, INTC, QCOM. But like, it's just really split. Man, why is FinViz such a bad website? Why is it coded so badly? Can I pull this to you guys? No, it doesn't want to leave. Let me try and do this. All right, these are the Qs. All right, so you've got some up, some down, right, while they make their mind up. These are what's in the spiders. Right, as well as financials, green, healthcare, green, energy, green. This is why the spiders have relative strength today. This is why the Qs are chopping, all right? If these all turn red, you're going to see follow through downside. Alex, off topic, how's my golf game? My golf game's terrible. I barely play. I used to play a lot, but when I was much younger, but... I think I've said it before. I had a terrible anxiety event when I was 20 or 21, and it ruined my golf game forever. Ruined my golf game forever. I can tell you about it. So I used to play a lot, and I got invited out to Spain to play with the father of a girl I was dating at the time. So I went to my local club. And I played like three days in a row, and I shot really well. I think I was like, really well for me. 10 over, 12 over. Like really well for me. Like consistent. Where I was like, I can get round. And I knew he played off like, I don't know, like 16 over or something. I was like, I can get round. Like this would be fine. Man, I got there, and I knew straight away on the first tee, I was in trouble. Like my anxiety was out of control. Out of control. Inverted U theory. I don't know if any of you have studied psychology. I had inverted U theory where peak performance, all right, you need like a little bit of like anxiety and adrenaline, right? So if this is performance, you do it this way. This is performance and this is anxiety or whatever you want to call it, tension. All right, peak performance, you have a little bit, enough that your adrenal glands are filled and you're ready to go. What I had was so much anxiety that performance was non-existent. I couldn't swing a fucking thing. And I think I took 3 goes off the first tee, slice, pull, and that was it. I was in for a rough day, and that's exactly what happened. And that, yeah, it's all in the mind. And that ruined me for the rest of the day. And I've played quite a few times since. I actually played a bit in COVID and was going all right again. Last time I played was probably a couple of years ago up at Westchester. And again, same thing. I had a horrible day until the back 9. Yeah. I need to get a few beers in me to play. If I have a few beers or a gummy, I can play. You put me at a range and I'll sling it. You put me on the course and it's very different. What's the name of that site? Oh, Finviz. I mean, you can get that on lots of sites. I've always used Finviz. It's just habit. Right, so still holding the bid here. So value area low on the session. They're finding bids here. There's no acceptance right now beneath value area low or beneath this options node. All right, so it's positive gamma here. All right, they're failing to break lower. Bulls are trying to defend this to get this move here. If they base above this, they get a further move. Otherwise, this is your tight range. 400 to basically 350 is your range. You've got 50 points range on the day. You can see why we're talking about other stuff. Some of you might find it frustrating, being like, why isn't he trading? Well, I'll promise you I'll take the setups if and when they're there. We've already traded some setups today. If they start to develop, we'll trade some more setups. But at the moment, you've got divergence to ES. Positioning is all over the shop. We just got to wait this. For me, we got to wait for it to develop a little bit. Oh, mute that. In the meantime, let's get the likes up, folks. There's at least 1,600 or 700 of you have not smashed that like button. All right, we do 1,000 likes today. We'll give away an Apex account. 1,200 likes. We give away a course. 1,500 likes. We give away a My Funded Futures account. Will Apex let you pass an account in one day? Yes, they will. Oak Quarry, Riverside. I think I've played that. I think I played that during COVID. Some of my mates here go and play Trump National in PV, and they play it at like midnight games because it's much cheaper. I haven't been with them, but amazing course. I do like driving past it. It's mega. What are the indicators you see? I have 5. Most of them are off though, my friend. VWAP. It's just 2 VWAPs. I can just get rid of that altogether. We can get rid of that. Oh, actually, don't want to get rid of that. Sometimes I use it. So VWAPs, flow zone system, and options levels. That's all it is. It looks busy. Normally, I would not have these all on one chart, but I think it's good so that you guys have the information. Normally, I don't like having GEX on this chart. It like clutters it all, but you guys need it, I think. Gives you a bit of edge so that you know where they're hedging. In your indicator for Ninja Trader, we get delta on the right hand side of big orders. In my indicator, well, my one's not launched yet. This is it. Yes. We're still working on it. So you get volume, you'll get delta, and you get big orders. And you can also flip the big orders and have them as delta orders if you'd rather. And then you get, I can show you. Again, it's not launched yet. It's CVD at the bottom, and you get divergence as well. So here's one today where we had heavy delta, but we closed green. All right, so that's delta divergence. This is one where we've had green delta but closed red, green delta but closed red. Right, so we get delta divergence on the candles as well. But again, it's not launched yet. We're still like ironing out a few little bugs and stuff like that. But it'll be ready soon. Alex, what do I think about intraday drawdown? Part of the game. You mean accounts that have it part of the game? I mean, I have it with Take Profit Trader when I'm not past the buffer. It's part of the game. Just if you're using an account like that, you just need to be more aggressive with your stops and try and take profits at highs. You kind of need to be a little bit more scalpy. Is my replacement for a Bookmap? I wouldn't say it's a replacement for Bookmap, although it does actually show the passive orders sat on the book, but they're two different tools on it. I just see people talk about Bookmap and like order flow tools being the same. They're similar, but for me, they're not the same because that Bookmap is tick by tick, and you can see when people historically have pulled their orders. And I think that's where a lot of edge comes from on Bookmap, is seeing the historical data. You don't get that on Footprint. If a guy's spoofing, you can't see it on Footprint. You would have to see it on the tape live of him putting in an order and pulling it, putting in an order and pulling it. On Bookmap, you can quite clearly see where they've done it. Does this indicator work on Tradeify? No, the indicator I just showed you is for Ninja. I mean, Ninja Trader owned Tradeify, but you'd have to trade in the Ninja Trader platform. Okay, more range rotation here. You can see, look at this chop. Hopefully I'm just trying to keep you guys safe as much as possible. There has been absorption down here to the bottom side of this range, but if they start to let go of it, it's going to become problematic. Just an inside day right now with a failed breakout pre-market. All right, this is your failed breakout. This is Friday's high. Run down, find the bid, fail the break, lower high, lower low. Do we move lower though, or is this the high time frame pullback to come back up here? I'd imagine it probably is that for later in the week. I imagine we might even come back down here and then do this dance later in the week, but I don't want to get caught in the part of it, which is what? Liquidity. Look at the top. High time frame, liquidity building phase, right? That's another good indicator for you of we are going to chop until they've got enough built into this range. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. New member, Dario. Did I say that right? Dario? You think it might sweep down liquidity and then head for the high? Well, we've already done the move down. This is your hourly. Right, I don't think this is our all-time high. I think we will come back for that. It doesn't have to be today, just because of when we've made it. But lower high, lower low. This is our over-under, though. If they fail under here, yes, we can come down into these levels. If they keep reclaiming this, this can be a two-leg, and then we can find bullish structure back above. And last time we did that was probably around here. This is kind of similar, although we did make a new high, two-leg, and then come back above. And probably did it before then as well. Two-leg, it can take time and then come back above. So we're at the moment, it looks like we're going to build out one of these again. Right, somewhere up here, a new range. Why? Because we've broken out. We need to build out a new range to see if we go up. If we lose that range, then we're going to see sell side pressure. But we can't just keep moving one direction. Right? People think, oh, we're just going to keep going up. No. Look at the story of the tape. Just go back the last few weeks. Come on. Come on, TradingView. Oh my God, don't do that. Can I get out of that at all now? And what's happened there? Well, that's fucked me. How do I get that back, folks? Ah! There we go. Right, back into this. Sorry, let me just show you this. Acceleration, consolidation, acceleration, consolidation, acceleration, consolidation, acceleration, consolidation, acceleration, consolidation. All right. What we don't do is just go straight up. Right. We consolidate, build range for a break or a pullback in. Right. And true failures is going to be under this, I would say, because this is a big range build out. I don't think we see backside truly until we get under all of this. And we're nowhere near that right now. Okay, let's see. Finally a drop. Yeah, I mean, they're moving under this grey box. But, I mean, this 350 is key. This 350 is key, how we act here. Sellers coming in, but ES is still to its RBS, still to that New York Open. You're still not seeing alignment here. If pops start to fail into 350, maybe you get that downside push, but this can just still be, look, this can be a giant flag to break out later. I'm just very conscious of this. If they start to reject 350s, maybe, but you've got to be careful down here. Some sellers trying to pile in here. Remember, sellers got caught today under 305, so I'd say if you are short in this, you want to be peeling some off 313s, 308s, somewhere into that range, and then you can hold to see if they break underneath 305. Just based on what we saw this morning. We're into like a thin volume node here. So back below Sunday's low. Let's see if ES gets follow through here. This is what's kind of key. ES into that New York Open again. It's still finding a bid there for now. That last pop did just reject 350. It's a huge over-under level. It's huge, huge, huge. I'm interested if we go into alignment and we start to reject, which is maybe looking like it's starting to happen here. Let's check these cues. What are we doing on the VIX? Filled its gap. Into imbalances here. Like I said, if you are short, make sure you're paying yourself some into sort of 315-ish. It's where the bids last came in this morning at 9.52. So I'll see if we can get involved somehow. More bids coming in here. Lots of bidding down here all the way down to 75. So I'd be paying myself a little bit if I was you, and then just see if we get a continuation. I might have missed that 350 tag here. That might have been it for this move, first part of the move. So we can wait now if I've missed it. Yeah, still holding that New York Open. Yeah, Nvidia letting go for sure. It's just gone red on the day. We'll have to see if Meta and Google want to follow. Initial balance now set. Yeah, IB now set. Thank you. Purple lines. The other one will be right at the closing point, right up here. So this is key. 350 tag here is key. 350, yeah, 350 up to sort of 360. Sellers need to reject that. Otherwise, this is going to rebid, and they're going to try and do the same move that they did earlier. So sellers need to defend right in here for this move. If they can't do that, we come back into range, and they'll try and come back to the upside and do this again. And this is the battle right now. Here's the squeeze up towards the 350s. ES again holding its New York Open. It's absolutely key here. ES is still supporting the bid. There's your 350. I'm getting tempted to put a little piece on here. There's sellers still up at 380. I'd like to see them walk down. Okay, some starting to join at 55s. I want these guys at 80 to come down. Otherwise, I'm not convinced one bit if I'm going to get involved here. Bid coming in here at 35s. I think we wash him. All right, sticking a piece on here. And I add a bit more into 55.60 and then I'll cut. Oh, I'm not convinced. I'm very small size here. ES has got to get back beneath this New York Open. A bid keeps, someone keeps refreshing the bid at 35s. I don't like that. I don't like this guy refreshing 35s. I think this is going to squeeze now. I'm not going to add up here. I'm just going to cut if we go above it and then have another go if and when it sets up. Because I don't like what I've just seen there at 35s. And again, ES has held that New York Open. Yeah, I think this is going to move higher. I'm not convinced here. These sellers are still at 85s, 80s, 95s. They're adding at 400 now. No one's walking this tape down. I think this is about to go back upside. Where would my entry be? Well, I added a little piece at 40s just to see if it wanted to let go, and it definitely doesn't. So I'm out now. Big seller coming in here. And I was small size on that. And we just see what happens. Right the way back upside we're going now. Right back inside all this range. So straight through the 50s and upside we're going again. That's why I don't trade range, because I fucking suck. Again, still holding New York Open. This can be a huge bull flag. This is the danger right now. So I tried to give it a go, small size for continuation. I've given about $10, $15 back. Just put a small piece on. And more like $20 back. Nothing. And we'll see. Nvidia back red to green. They're just going to chop all day, I think. I think they're going to chop all day. Another failed breakdown. Well, underneath this, yeah, I would argue the same. There you go. There's a squeeze back up for the bull flag. Right, so they're using it as a flag and go. We can get bullish on pullbacks in. The thing is, they're doing this so quick. It's one side then the other. Now ES going. New high of day ES. Oh my God. The divergence is huge. Huge divergence. What are we doing here, market? What are we doing here, market? Stuck between the two VWAPs again, the chop again. So I had one go at it here, cut instantly. Glad I didn't add there once I saw those buyers coming in. This has been very, very big aggressive buying here in its 62s. ES took the high of days, come back in. I'm not seeing any news here, not yet. I think some fund ate everyone. I think Nvidia just got a bid. It's up to 0.5% again. We're back inside the range rotation again. Well, this is fun. Great, a cut there. Yeah, I mean, it's just from seeing the buyer on the tape. Refresh. It was non-stop. Look at that failure from ES. Took the highs, come straight back down to the midpoint. No edge here at the moment. Back inside the range. No edge. That's a big failure from ES all the way back down from that breakout. Are they going to find the bid here for this imbalance or not? VIX as well came underneath, closed its gaps, caught a bid above it, starting to fail back under again now. No, I'm unconvinced. I'm unconvinced to do anything right now. Part of me is like, buy this for the move back up, but I'm not going to do it. I don't trust it from what I'm seeing. Do not trust it. Yeah, no news, I don't think. I think it's just a little technical squeeze out. Failing underneath this 50 again. Don't know if the H1 wants to get going or not here. Look at this. Right into where those buyers last came in at 60s for this breakout. They need to support it here. They've just piled in here for this like big squeeze out. So they really want to support 60s here. Otherwise, this whole thing was for nothing. Which is kind of a bit odd. They are supporting it here. They're 60s down to 50s right now. If they lose this, then what though? Don't really want another go down here. We're not showing strength to buy. Yeah, like I said, I think the same. I think the big moves come Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Absolutely. Well, they've held this in balance. What's spooking me a bit is this. That we've just swept and come straight back down. Here's our range. look below, fail to break out, held the New York Open, squeeze up, take the liquidity, instant fail. I don't like that. That's not a small failure either. It's 10 points. It's range day. Range day. What sources of Israel security establishment describe the rift between Shin Bet chief and the heads of bridges and wings? I mean, I don't think so. I don't think so. The wrong time to learn to trade the war stuff as well. I think it's probably the best time to learn because you get through this. We go into a normal trending market. It's going to be very easy. All right, back inside. Same blocks. Still stuck. These 62s on Qs are pretty key. 662s on the QQQ. VIX coming back inside after filling its gap. Is value area low for the session. This is where the sellers keep piling in and keep getting no success. And we're here again. And ES is here again, the 190s, VWAPs. Everything's flat again. The range is getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter now. It's getting tighter and tighter. Any new albums I'm stoked on? No, I don't listen to new music, mate. I'm at that age where I literally don't listen to new music. I'm still listening to like Puddle of Mud and Foos and I'm done. New music sucks. Same with house music. All the new stuff, shite. That's where my head is at anyway. You might laugh, but it's a sign of old age, isn't it? I feel like my parents when they used to sit, change the radio station. Your new music's rubbish. They'd have the same stuff on all the time for years and years. All right, value area low here again. Like I said, this is where the sellers keep piling in. We haven't been able to break down from here yet. ES is right back to that 190 level again. Chop continues again. A new rap music's got to be the worst, man. It's so it's so bad. I don't get it. I don't get most new things nowadays, though. That's just a sign that I'm old. Alex, do I listen to Fred again set with Daft Punk? I did, but like again, I don't get it. Everyone's like wooing and wowing over Fred again. I just doesn't do it for me, mate. I like honestly, I look at most DJs and I think you knobs. At least he's active. I hate this dancing DJ trend when people are like, oh yeah, this DJ is so entertaining. Their job's not to entertain you. Their job is to create like an amazing atmosphere of good music. This whole like dance like a prick on stage stuff, like fuck off. Get out of it. Yeah, that's a good reason why I quit the industry. Or throw cakes, yeah, like Aoki, yeah. You're pretty sure I like Queen. I love Queen. Yeah, all the old stuff. DJ Pickle. Who's DJ Pickle? I've never heard of any of these people. Okay, we're still just chopping inside range here. Still no direction. Market's still just building liquidity out. I want to be very careful if I have one more go here because I've given a little bit back on that last move. Not a lot, a tiny bit. And back down to these 60s again. You can see the importance in ES back down to VWAP again. There is no follow through in either direction here. None. Absolutely none. Boris Pratchard's still pretty good. I was with the same agent as him. Different music to me. Does he still wear a mask? Or has he dropped all that stuff now? Look at this importance of these 60s, like value area low here, just holding over and over and over and over again. So they're not finding acceptance below. This is where sellers, for the last 15 minutes, have piled in this level here. Look. They keep piling in here, and they're not finding acceptance underneath. If they find it, they're trying to test the 33s again, but they're just not finding acceptance underneath yet. Just not yet. They are desperate to get under these 60s and see a flush. Like, here they go. They're trying now. It's so tempting to have another go here, but as we know, Alex doesn't trade range net well, so he's trying to avoid this because this is where the traps can live. Carl Cox, yeah, I mean, I haven't seen Coxie play for years. But him and Jamie did open Universe last year, and they played an edit of one of our songs, which was pretty cool. Jeff Mills, yeah, what a legend. What a legend. Do I remember Groove? What, Groove Armada? Or is it another band? Still chopping it. ES still holding. We're still holding those 60s. ES still holding the VWAP. This is getting so boring now. We're going to have to do something because this stream is going to get boring if price action is going to keep doing this. We're 200 short of this first giveaway, folks. Am I in any trades? No, I'm not. No, sir. Kevin Saunderson. Yeah, I used to work with him and his two sons. I used to do music with them. Dante's. Inner City. I'm trying to think what their label was called. I used to do stuff with. Vic still looks like it wants new lows here. Am I bulking? I look rounder now. Are you joking? I'm probably just wearing big clothes. No, I'm not bulking. Did the cycle part of a try to help my friend yesterday, who's got his triathlon next weekend in Ventura County. Basically I've worked out the last 4 days in a row, taking today off. I'm definitely not bulking. You'll know when I bulk. I mean, I am still 214 kilos. I can probably get down to like 208. But when I bulk, I'll get up to like 225 plus. But I don't really train like I used to. I probably can't go heavy like I did last year. You would have noticed there was a part last year where I was going very heavy. But I can't do it anymore. My bones hurt. Sorry, pounds. Yeah, sorry, pounds. 214 pounds, which is what, like 98 kilos. My bad. Pounds. And the chop continues. Well, this is fun. Yeah, I'm only 6'1" and a bit, so not 7 feet. It's my bad. It's because in UK we use kilos. I always try and move to pounds here, and then I'll get all muddled up. He's a big guy. The biggest. Strong guy. Did you see how fast he moved? So fast. They moved so fast. It was a blur. Oh, it's so good. Do we use stones in the UK? Yeah, UK uses stones. Stones and probably more kilos now, but in school you learn stones and stuff. I don't understand why the whole world doesn't just use the same thing. It'd be make life so much easier. Do I play poker? No, not really. I used to play a bit when I was at university, but nothing serious. How many years I've been trading? Full time, like 7, and then I was swing and investing before that for a long time. Oh God! Come on, market. I'm trying to convince myself to stay here till lunch, but at the moment it's feeling pretty hard to look at this and think that I'll stay put. What happened to Poet today? Well, that caught a bid last week. Where's it at today? Did they do an offering? They probably did a pre-market offering or something. Let me have a look. That very much looks like an offering. What the fuck is going on here? You're saying exactly? Oh, is that what they did? I'm looking for the filings. Oh, Marvel cancelled purchase orders tied to Celestial AI production. Just an order cancellation. Yeah, order cancellation. That's what it is from Marvel. Well, they had a huge run up. I mean, look at that breakout. That's a huge move. 100% move in what, 1, 2, 3, 4 days? Shows how sensitive these markets are and how these smaller companies are so tied to like one single orders. Always a worry. Always a worry. Right, we're back down to the 55s and 60s again. This same level that sellers keep trying to sell and keep failing to sell through. And they're going to have another go here. You can see orders are all stacked down here into 50s, these buyers. And then under there's a little bit of wiggle room if they do want to let go. But again, like this has been the level that they keep absorbing at all day long. This is where the sellers keep trying to come in and failing. Do we see continuation? I have no idea, folks. Like this is definitely the level that they're failing to sell at. But sellers are trying to take control here versus 60s. They're having a go. At the moment, they're struggling to get that continuation down. If they can, they're going to try and revisit 34s and then that pivot low down here is what they're attempting to do. So they're having another go here. It's tempted to join here for the move, but I'm going to avoid it because we're in a range. I'm telling myself we're in a range. We're in a big range. We're still just trading inside of all of this. Until I see strong momentum come in, I'm going to try and avoid doing anything. How about open? I've not even looked, mate. I've got nothing in it. Where's that trading at? I mean, it's still basing out pretty good. That's actually not looking bad. That is not looking bad. Just holding an RBS zone. It's pretty good. Remember, we were originally long from here. And we sold up into this push. So that is a decent pullback. If they start to build and hold now, I'd imagine there's still a huge short open interest on that, and they can get squeezed if enough people can come in and join it. But it's going to need another retail rally or some really positive data. One trade hit TP today. Thank you. Nice way to start the week. Yeah, I mean, we had 2 little trades today. The third one didn't hit, so we hit. I mean, for me, it was this. I didn't get the best cover. It was this, and then where did I have another go? Here, and then stopped out instantly once I saw the bid come in. And that's why I'm skeptical to play here. I know that this is such a sensitive area. If sellers do take control here, it's really got a chance to move. But you can see they're really struggling to take control here. Let me just close this. There we go. Still bids here holding. Still churning this area. No weakness really in this market yet. Mixed bag on the mag as well. Nvidia up, Meta up, Google up. So 3 of them green, 4 of them red. VIX still trading on downside. It's rejected its PDC now, so it's come under PDC. The next level it can go for is previous day low if it's going to continue to wash. So we'll just have to see here. And that will mean a move into sort of 1850s, 1845s. I'm still just not touching this. I don't want to give any more back. Is that a butterfly on the back? Well, I've got a sleeve on my right and it needs finishing. It's not a butterfly. It's not a butterfly. Ugh. Hey, Alex, when you're saying you see them reload the tape, are you referring to time and sales? Actually, when I was saying that earlier, it was a passive buyer. Where was it? Was it... I can't remember where it was. Was it here? All right, so he was like passively buying. I can't remember where it was, but let's say he was passively buying here. He'd get filled, and then the same order would come back on, and he'd get filled, and the same order would come back on, and he'd get filled, and the same order would come back on. So, like, let's say it was like a 50 lot or a 30 lot. He'd get filled, price would move away, a 30 lot would come back on. He'd get filled, price would move away, a 30 lot would come back on. He just kept doing that, and he was just saying, "I'm going to keep buying here." But he wasn't aggressive. He was just passively on, buy, limit, absorbing the tape at that level. Because the thing is, on time and sales, right, you don't know what type of orders they are. You'll just see a flush of orders come through, right? So you'll just see like the orders come through and the price come through. I don't really watch price on time and sales because I can see it here. You can see it's fairly balanced. If you look above me, like it's a mix between red and green, and these are all 2 lots, all right? And now we've got some 3 lots, but we're not seeing like a big flush of red or a big flush of green and everyone like start to pile in. We're just seeing it split as the market just holds in balance, right? We're just holding in balance. If you think about what we're doing, you know, we are just holding. We're above the open from Friday last week, and we're holding that 10, 11 o'clock candle. We've repriced that candle. We're holding this RBS zone. Remember, this is Friday's pivot high. And think about this. This is the transition, the 10 11 transition. This was the breakout Friday and then the grind. And we pulled back into this at the Sunday open and we broke out. We've made a higher low and a lower high. So we're in range. We've now washed overnight low, but we're still holding. We didn't reject this for this move. We're just holding here. It doesn't mean that can't happen, but so can this at the moment. We are seeing like a big triangle kind of being built out here. If we think about this, look, this is ugly. All right, we're getting tight in here. And at some point, we're going to see one of these. At the moment, I don't want to get caught in that. I'll join when we start to see this, or we start to see this. No worries. Once we've got them all trapped, I just don't want to be one of the guys getting caught in there. Right, so I'm going to do my best to ignore this, because when we've had one go at it, Alex got nailed. So limiting attempts. Well, my plan is not you're calling it a tramp stamp. My plan is my whole back. I want my whole back down and my whole sleeve down. I've just not gone back since I've been in LA, because the guy that does all my work is just off Diably Street in Soho, Gypsy Stables, it's called. My tattooist is a guy called Bruno, and I will only go to him. So it slowed me down, but I just don't want to use someone here. I like having the same artist for my stuff, so it all looks the same. So I want my whole back done. I want the whole back piece, and then I'll probably get a bit on my chest at some point. I'm leaving it late. But it's what happens when you move to another country. And we have been messaging each other. He actually messaged me saying, "Can I teach him to trade?" And he'll do my tattoos. I was like, "Bruno, you don't want to trade, bro. You've got an amazing tattoo studio in the heart of Soho in London. You don't do this. Don't do this. Just stick to there. Stick to doing what you're amazing at." He's a good dude. There's no reason for shorting anymore. We survived a whole war and don't care about talks anymore until warheads. No. You're wrong, mate. You're wrong. I'm sorry. If you think that's what dictates what we're doing, if you don't think we can have a sell the news event, you're wrong. If you don't think this market can pull back, you're wrong. I think we've priced in all positive news. That's where my head's at. Doesn't mean we can't go higher, but I think we've priced in all positive news now. I think you're going to see a melt up followed by something nasty when retail gets caught. ES back to New York open again. Yeah, CL's going, like, trying. It's trying to get that break of like 97s. It's trying. You know, these are big levels that it's pushing into here. We're just chopping around. Chopping around. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Nothing moving it. Here it goes. It's just broken 97. So is there follow through now versus 55s? Are they going to finally do this move? They're trying. I'll be interested if we see momentum come in here. ES is trying. CL's going for it. They've got to stay heavy versus 55s if there's going to be momentum. And it needs to be a big downside swipe, because we're just into sort of trend here. Let's just 3 attempt 1, 2, 3. You don't want to get caught down here. You don't want to get caught on this. Where are you guys? This. All right, still absorbing. All right, backside of the move will be this if they're willing to do it. So oil breaking out of that pre-market level, coming back in, tagging into supply from Friday, rejecting it so far. Very tricky to look for continuation trades in range. It's hard to trade this chop now. Well, why do you think I'm trying to stay on my hands as much as possible? That's exactly why. Oil coming back into 97. VIX finding a push here back over PDC. You'd want to see this lift up and test 55s and then crack. right? That's going to give the best move. Otherwise, it's going to be a straight downside move, and it's going to be very hard to join in discount prices for that move. So you want to see a lift up, clear rejection of 55, and big sellers step on the gas. The sellers are still up at 55s. They're still on the tape up there. And above that is 90. So I'm waiting to see if we lift up here and if they want to like really slam this and trap buyers, or if we're going to go back into range. Again, I'm not going to trade it if we do that. It's the same thought as earlier. And oil pulling back in, failing 97 now, coming back down. I'm not convinced to take this right now. This is the level though. I remain very unconvinced in this market. It's a good rejection of 55. I'm still unconvinced. I'm unconvinced right now. If ES rejects New York Open with it, it would be a good sign. My hands are off the mouse. I'm just going to wait for a second. What's been my biggest loss? I don't know, like 15, 16, 17,000, somewhere around there on a small cap. Absolutely wrecked on some Chinese names. Not fake money, real money. How am I not buying this? What do you mean? Well, why am I not trusting it? Because I'm waiting to see if buyers get stuck. And at the moment, and I'm waiting to see if we see sell pressure walk down. At the moment, I'm not seeing it. We're not really doing anything. Right? We've come up and tagged 55s and we're just not moving. Not seeing aggression here. It's a passive seller at 55 who's reloaded. If you want to risk versus, if you want to take the short versus 55.60, you can. But like, I want to see buyers get trapped. That's the first time I've seen a buyer get trapped. It's a 196 lot get trapped there. That's the first attempt I've seen to break through 55s and a buyer get trapped. So that's a good sign. And buyers are trying to defend this now. And this is looking better for the sell at this point. Very finicky level. But they did catch buyers up there at 55s or 50s. ES rejecting New York Open, right? ES needs to break down under IB low, and then it might be go time. Otherwise, it's very, 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 very tight, very tricky. But it's caught my interest now because we've caught that buyer up there. His level is 148, and we're right back to his level now. And if we squeeze back through 55s, this whole thing's over because they're just going to go for it again. ES back to that New York Open. Range rotation about to happen again. So if they don't reject here, you will not see new lows. You'll see new highs coming by. Got caught again up here. So another buyer up here at the moment into 55s. If they hold this level, they can break and squeeze back through the range. Here they come, the buyers. They're trying to get the break. Here come the sellers. It's a big battle at this level. I'm still leaving this alone right now. I do not trust this. Here they go. Oh, no way. No way I'm touching this right now. No way. They are piling in both sides right here. Stops getting popped both sides. There's no way I'm touching this. Huge buyer here. Huge buyer here again. Big battle. No way I'm getting chopped up in here. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm all right, thank you. Hey. This is like last week. Look at the passive orders above. They are not interested in forcing this market lower right now. They've got so many opportunities to do it, and they're not interested. They're just like, oh, we'll just dither around up here. I mean, that is a clear sign of just a lack of interest for sellers right now. They're not trying to get a breakdown at the moment. They have every opportunity at that point to step on the gas, and they didn't do it. Look at them up above, 90s, 400s and above. That's not what I would want to see if I'm looking for a breakdown, of people being like, oh, we'll just add a bit of liquidity here. Or maybe we'll sell even higher. Maybe we'll sell even higher than that. Well, that's not going to help you, is it? Exactly. The news is coming backside of the week. We've said that. Monday, Tuesday, we'll probably build out the liquidity for FOMC and the earnings Wednesday night and the earnings Thursday night. That's exactly it. Exactly it. Big battle. ES rejected New York Open there, but it's such a huge battle here. No sweep of lows for ES yet either, by the way. It's protected those lows all day. Back into this area where these buyers just piled in. They piled in at 48s and at 56s. So underneath that, sellers will have some pressure if they can maintain an auction underneath that. Again, I'm struggling to warrant doing anything here. Look, this is just so tight and messy. CL's trying to get up. We have a Goog. Goog's up at highs. Meta's doing pretty good right now. Microsoft's trying to get back through. Sorry, Microsoft, Nvidia's trying to get back through VWAP. The mag as a whole looking like of no man's land range rotation. Yeah, crude's trying to go for it. It's trying to get back above into these levels from Friday. That's what it's trying to do. You're not seeing, it's kind of muted reaction elsewhere right now. Massive wedge this morning. Yeah, exactly. Massive wedge. That's exactly it. Lower highs and higher lows. Building out liquidity. That's its job. We would need to see a break and a move away from all of this, right? A break and a move away. How are we doing on the likes? Still not at 1,000. Still over 1,000 of you. Unwilling to hit the like button to win some free stuff. It's amazing. Come on, market. Let's do something. Let's not just stay in this all day. I don't care what we do, but let's move out of this range, one side or the other. Grey box is a high volume node. It's an RBS zone. No, it's just an RBS zone, I think. It's actually a low volume node from last week, and it's an RBS zone. Look at this book. There's just a juggle on the book here. Both sides. No one taking control. There's a seller at 75 starting to move down. He's 55, back to 75. Okay, we've got a selling spoofing on the tape. Oh, now he's back at 90s. A massive seller spoofing on the tape. That's fun. It's the first time I've seen that today. Now he's at 80s. Why is he juggling 100 lot around? What are you doing, mate? What is he doing? He moved to 50s, back to 80s, back to 70s, back to 80s, to 70s, to 55s, to 85s. This fucking idiot. Can't even see him now. What was that about? Didn't get filled. Didn't see him get filled anyway. All right, they're trying again at these lows. Still absorbing here. ES still not taking out his IB lows. Still seeing absorption down into this range. All right, this is current week value area low for now. If you get a snap of this, there's a question mark about coming down into this versus 50s and 55s. We're just not seeing that expansive move yet. We're just seeing like a very slow walk and then this. This is why I'm like unwilling to do much right now. What is this? Okay, value area low rejection there. Look at all these bids on the tape again though. Nah, they're just nah. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm good, thank you. All right. While this bugger's around, and while you guys need to get us to 1,000 likes. Oh, we got it. Okay, so here, let's give away. Let's do a free Apex account. Code FZT, like we always say, best code to use for your prop firms. 90% off right now on Apex using that code. I'll give you guys a minute or two to do that. While you do that, I'm going to get a coffee, use the bathroom, be back. Please don't spam it. You only need to type it once. If you spam it, it pulls you out. I'll be right back. Oh, look at that. Nothing's changed. Surprise, surprise. All right, let's pull this winner. Free Apex account on its way. Winner is... Oh, God. How do I say that? Balaz Bathory. Balaz Bathory 4754. Are you here? Balaz Bathory. I mean, I might have absolutely butchered your name, and I'm really sorry if I have. There you are. Okay, there we go. I'm sorry about that. It's not the easiest name to read out. Okay, just send me an email, info@flowzonetrader.com, please. All right, info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged into your YouTube. I'm making a note of your name now, and I will sort you out with a free Apex account as soon as we get off stream. All right. Okay, still nothing to do here. This market is absolutely going nowhere. Crude looks like it's trying to break out of its initial balance high. We're still seeing absorption down here for now. There's lots of liquidity down here that they can come and fill for these buyers if these sellers can get going. But at the moment, they keep failing these 30s, 35s. We've seen absorption here for the last, I don't know, 10 minutes. We've seen strong buying here on that candle back up. If they turn these buyers into sellers, we'll see a wash. But very hard to justify doing something at the moment. Crude is trying to get going and failing again. And ES still not taking out its initial balance low, still protecting these lows. There's still clearly buyers down here for ES at the moment. What a day. What a day of chop. And you just wonder if they do this long enough and sellers don't get their way. Right, if they do this long enough and sellers don't get their way down into here. Right, remember, sellers are trying to look for this. And if they don't get their way, buyers are going to get this rip. Because if sellers keep piling in here and they don't get the move, this becomes probable. But we don't want to trade in this, really. We want to trade outside of all of that when it's ready. If it's ready, it might not be ready today or tomorrow. It might do this for a couple of days, folks. You have to be aware of that. It can absolutely do this for a couple of days. There are these buyers like just starting to stack up here again, all the way down to 300. I am kind of surprised that they haven't let the sellers sell through and then fill and like pop it back up if they want to trap them. Kind of surprised that they haven't done that. Crude going for it again. It's trying to do its 5-minute breakout here. So maybe they're going to do this move for the sellers now and fill these guys in down to at least 20s, if not the 300 evens. Nope. Still supporting the bid here. Did they even sweep that? Nope. Still just protecting everything. This is amazing. Crude failed again there. Another failed breakout on crude versus Friday supply. We are going absolutely nowhere here at the moment. Who's trapped? Both sides at the moment. It's like, I'd say buyers from 15 minutes ago are caught at the moment. We'll see if they get, here they go. They're finally coming for this breakdown. Let's see if they snap these lows now, if ES is going to clear out its initial balance or not. So I'd say those buyers from like 15 minutes ago in here are currently caught. Look, here we come. We're going to come and try and fill this imbalance down to 13s. So maybe there's a way of getting involved here somehow. So this was what I was looking for earlier, but it just spooks me out. Here goes crude. Crude breaking out now. So let's see if there's continuation at this point. So if you are short on this, you want to be peeling some off. ES has just hit its target. This is the exact move I was looking for here. Maybe just too rigid, not willing to have another go at it down here, but we'll see. We've now cleaned out this pool. Buyers, I can show you here. New indicator. Buyers defending where they came in earlier this morning. Do you remember earlier today I said if you are short you want to cover into 15s? There you go. That's why 15s and 05s, and I said under 05 we get acceptance lower. This is why. It's these guys. All right, so we've tagged right into where those bids came in this morning. So this group of participants are stuck. Right, sellers are in control. These buyers are trying to defend the same pivot. Right, they are trying to defend this. All right, sellers do not take total control of the session until they get a close under this and a wash away from it. Hopefully that makes sense. And I know you'll be like, well, we should be in this short. I know, but rule number 1, play to your strengths. Okay, like I had a go at this already for this move. We built it all out. We can have one more go at it if it really wants, but we need to be careful now because we've hit a target. Crude needs to sustain this bid up. It can't push up here and fail. Alex, do you ever lose the initial market trade? What do you mean the initial market trade? Initial balance trade, or do you mean the opening trade on the open of the market? You're flat as well, King? Yeah, like me. So I would say this push up, sellers would want to defend sort of 36s. They definitely won't want it back above 50s. All right, so this 36s would be ideal. See this little low volume node? This would be the ideal level for them to sell. They certainly won't want it back above this. All right, so if they're going to, here you go. So they're trying to sell this low volume node at the moment for this. They're trying to look for this. It's days like this where I'm almost getting my own way sometimes. I'm not touching it. I'm watching crude come right back in at the moment. It's a big failure on crude. Very skeptical of this. The reason I'm skeptical, again, for me, it's the H1 range. All right. We're already here. We would need to see this and this now. I don't want to get caught into this system here, which is where we found a bid this morning. So I'm willing to look at it again. I'm just going to have to let it develop a bit more. That is a good rejection of this low volume notice. Oh, I'm getting my own way. I'm getting in my own way. I'm getting my own way. I'm getting in my own. The opening trade. Oh, you were asking, do I ever get caught in the opening trade? Yes. Yes, like, of course. Like, if I get trapped in it, I get trapped in it. But today was pretty clean. It was pretty clean. Alex wants in, and he always wants in. He always wants in. Remember, I'm 3 trades in already today, right? So I'm 3 trades deep. So I want to be careful if I'm having a 4th and 5th. So 1 winner, 2 winners, 1 loss. Right, this trade here was looking for this. This is what we're now doing. But I'm just the reason I'm skeptical is because of this block here. We've just tagged into it already. That would be my TP. So I don't have location at the moment. I have momentum. I don't have location. So I'm trying to wait to see if it gives me location and what happens at that point. And I would be watching SPY into 713s here and how we act. Crude is still... If this caused the flush, then I'd be worried. Right? That can... What's that? 3 drives. If it can't hold this print, guess what's going to happen? Guess what the market's going to do? This. Right? ES is going to go the other way. So I'm watching all of this being like, I think I've missed the time. I think it's happened. I think the move was back into this block. All I've got in my head is this little swirling alarm going, don't you dare become the liquidity. Right? That's what's in my head. These guys are what I'm watching. These guys here, do they become sellers or not? This is what I'm watching. These big buyers, do they become sellers or not? Can crude hold a bid? If they become sellers and crude holds a bid, maybe I'm interested. We're coming towards them. We're not there yet, but we're coming towards them. We're already through that low volume node. So that 350 over under is going to remain an over under. It's been an over under. We called it pre-market. It's the same level. I do not want to get trapped down here if they're going to do the look below, fail, reclaim, and go up, because we haven't really swept much. Right? This is a internal sweep. I'm very concerned about that. I'm very concerned about that because the overall market is what is bullish. Right? This can still just be a pullback. If we reject this, we can try and look for this move down into here. This is the same thing we looked for this morning. Same thing I looked for there. Crude is coming right back in, folks. And ES has found a bid. It's back inside its initial balance. It's coming back up to that New York Open. And like I said, SPY into 713 is key. We're coming right into it. So I'm now watching to just try and gauge how we act here. Again, hands are off the mouse. I'm not watching gold. Don't care about gold. Don't trade gold. Not interested in gold. Irrelevant. Sorry, I'm just watching this tape start to go green and push here into the 50s. It's the big level. Crude coming right back in. It's failing. How many kids do I have? 0. 0 rugrats. One furry baby. A pit bull. That's it. Why do people trade NQ with these price actions? Hop on Forex. Yeah. Let's hop on an unregulated exchange with no centralized data. Yeah. Let's do that, because that's way better. The spreads are way better. Yeah, let's judge on NQ on one day where it's having consolidation in a range and say something like that. All right, buyers for the first time getting aggressive up here into the 50s. You see big lot just came in here and got sold back into 50s. So 147 lot passively sold into at 50. So that's why we're watching these 50s levels. It's where the buyers were earlier. Remember, it's the same level right here. This is the same level where all these buys take place. We just had 150 lot come flying in into 50. You can see it in Bookmap. I'm watching to see what happens on Bookmap at the moment. I'm watching this guy here. He came flying in 147 lot, not 100 lot. We're still lifting. And what I'm looking at here is, are any of these sellers going to walk down or not? And it doesn't look like they are. And crude has just made a lower low. And if this pop up on crude gets sold into 97, they go lower high, lower low, then the market's going to start rallying right the way back up. And this would be the trap we talked about. So it's 350 is your big over under. Like I said, I'm still not really convinced of much. This has been too much of an upside to flush. I think we're just in balance. And like I've said it a lot, but I think for me, this is the story of the tape today. All right, I'll move out to the 9:30. All right. Big push up, failed. PDC and VWAP. There's our flush moment. Big orders come in here after excess at the low. So we drag this out horizontal, right? This is where the buyers are protecting the low. We move up, we move down, we go into range. Big buyers come in, they get washed out, liquidated, we reclaim. Big buyers come in and try and force. Big sellers try and force it down. We go nowhere, we go nowhere, we go nowhere. Extend this out. Hopefully you can see this. All right, big buyers come in again. They get liquidated. Where do we come to? Where the buyers held the low. All right, so we've swept an internal low. We've held the big buyers that came in at 9:55 this morning. All right, now we're back in range again. What are we also inside of? Previous day's range. All right, previous day value range. We're also inside of previous day's daily candle. We're in a chop zone. Nothing's changed. I was looking for a continuation down, but the fact that we've done, right, in my mind, I don't know how to draw on here. The fact that we've done this move to here, oh God, from here to here, puts me off looking for anything further, because that would be the low probability move, would be a breakdown into here, cover, and then hold runners. That's my issue with another trade right now. Crude is trying, all right, so it's back through the 97. So the question here is, does crude make a lower high? This is what's driving the market. Yeah, 1K likes. I know, we've already done a giveaway for it. Next target is 1,200. AMD a pullback before the next bull run. I mean, mate, AMD is like, its PE ratio is ridiculous right now. You've got to understand that. This is, for me, this is not a pullback before the next bull run. All right, this is not. All right, Alex is long from here. We still have an open gap here. We have open gaps all through here. All right, the next pullback, if they were really willing to hold, would need to be all the way back down here for an RBS check. All right, I would be very cautious about this coming back in here later in the year. Like I said, I've been long here. I've sold most of my position up here now. And I didn't have that much left anyway, because I sold a good chunk into here. So we'll see if it comes back in. But like, this is not... If you're thinking today is the pullback for a next bull run, I would say zoom out. Look at all these gaps you've left open. All these inefficiencies are probably at some point going to get filled. All right, the pullback would have to come right back down into that, mate. This is a huge run. It's a $150 run in like what, it would be 18 days, probably the same as everything. No, if you think this is it to do this, If it does that, that's a parabolic move. If you bought here, I think you're a psychopath. Okay? You're absolutely mental. Right, look at AMD's forward PE ratio versus Nvidia. Nvidia's a much cheaper buy right now, not just in terms of share price, in terms of what it could do. AMD's way overvalued, which is why it had downgrades this morning. It's way overvalued. Up 275 off the bottom of the range. Nice, mate. Do you always look for delta for ES or just NQ? Yeah, I would look, if I was trading ES, it's exactly what I'd look for in ES as well. All right, so you can see right now, see the 50s range? We've moved it down a bit. So delta is now caught. I'd say buyers want to protect 40 to 30. If they protect 40 to 30, they can leave these sellers trapped. If they can do that, they want to get back above this shelf at 60. See this shelf? So they want to hold a dip in towards 30s, and they want to get back above 60s. And they do that, they can rotate back to the highs. But this is just like a... I am uninterested in this market right now. I can show you. I gave like a little bit of money back here on these accounts. Right, so I've given, I don't know, 30, 40 bucks back or something off the highs. I'd have to see what it was this morning. Yes, the GEX levels are from Tanuki. How about INTC? Probably exactly the same. And it's overextended. Like all the chip names are overextended. It's why you're seeing a pullback in. Look at these names. Like we talked about it in the newsletter. It's been an 18-day run. Look at this name. You don't think this is overextended? We're in small cap territory right here. There's a 114% move, guys. Since when? Since March. This is ridiculous. 114% in a month. Right? All that you have to hope for, if you are long down here, you have to hope they create an island high up here and hold it. Because if they don't, and buyers come flying in here, you're going to get a reprice back down into here, definitely. These can keep drifting higher, but I'm not saying they can't keep going higher, but they're overextended. These are not buying opportunities now. The move's gone. It's happened. It's finished. Right? You're runners only. Right? Like I am in AMD. Look, I've got the tiniest piece left in AMD now. And I will reload. I can show you. I am now 103% up. And I think I sold it at like 120. Right? That's my AMD. Small size left in that. What time did I take that trade? Which trade? Which trade? My trades this morning were in the first minute. The first minute, yeah. Right, short here. Right, once I saw rejection, short here, cover. I didn't get the cover right down there. I got a partial and I probably didn't move my stop down quick enough. I was a bit slow on the trigger. And then the next trade was here. Or this move, and we were looking to try and get into here, and the next trade was around here and stopped out. That's it. That's all I've done so far. That's the day. And look, we're right back in. Look, we're over the... That's what I'm saying. Crude's failing. So crude just did lower high. Think about this on CL. There we go. All right, so crude. 3 drives like we talked about. If it sets a lower high at 97s, it's in trouble. Lower high, lower low, and we're coming back in, and this should give upside lift to the NQs and the ES. That's what I'm saying. I think the trade was gone for me. I missed the opportunity of that last short. Hesitation around here because I didn't want to give money back. I'll be honest, because this is what I was looking for here. And you needed to take this and you needed to cover these. And if you rewind today, you will hear me say you have to cover to 15s and 05s. And then your runners afterwards, because that's where these guys came flying in. And we're back in range again. And here's your rotation again. this is like, today is like a day where you have to like learn to sit in your hands and know what you're good at and what you're not good at. I am not great at trading range. I can read range, but my execution of range is not great. I way prefer momentum. So on days like today, I try and back off, and that's why you might see me hesitate and not get that last dip down in, but I don't feel bad about it. I think it's fine. All right, how are we doing? Are we a free course or am I funded futures yet? Are we up at that level? 100 more likes will get you a free course, and then if we get to 1,500 likes, we're doing my funded futures giveaway. You blew 2 accounts already. So take your lesson from that. Why did you blow 2 accounts? Why did you blow 2 accounts? Other than obviously your risk management was poor, or maybe you went on tilt, but what? Go like, trying to think how to phrase this for you guys. People can say, oh, I've gone on tilt. Sure. What gets you to that stage? Because that's what you need to be in control of or avoid. For me, things that get me on tilt, too many break-evens. All right, too many break-evens. And that doesn't just have to be on a day. It can be compounded 3, 4, 5 days. If I have a day where, if I get to like day 3 or 4 or 5 where I'm feeling a bit tight, I'm like, I'm underperforming and like I have to be very careful, right? Very, very careful. Not sure if you explained this before, but aside from seeing price action unfold, how do you determine whether we're ranging or momentum? All right, let me go over this for you guys again. Very, very easy. Very, very easy. First, we come to the daily. Right, this is what you need to do every single day. Okay, what kind of day are we in? Are we outside previous day's range? Right? Or are we inside? Think about the days where we have a good upside lift. They have something in common, right? Ideally, the previous day has been an inside day, even with a look below and fail, and then we go outside. Okay, so we're in breakout, so momentum upside. Look, outside. See all these? Oh my God, come on. Outside, 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 inside, outside. Okay, so chop, momentum, 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 consolidation, momentum above. Okay, very, very, very easy. First thing you do, what are we in? Are we in an inside day or an outside day? Even worse, we're in a look above and fail right now, but we're in an inside. We're inside Friday's action. So we expect rotation. That's your first thing you look at. That is the first thing you look at. Then where are we versus previous day's value? There's value area high. Our trading view is making it really hard for me to teach you today. There's value area high. There's value area low. There's the previous day point of control. Are we outside of value, right? Are we rejecting to go lower or holding to go above? Or are we inside of value? We're inside of value, right? So what do we expect in there? Rotation. So there's your 2 for 2. Then we can look at overnight. All right, we can look at overnight. This is your volume since the Sunday open. All right. And we can actually, I'll do this to the morning print just to make it even easier for you. 10, 8, 9. Okay. Let's take the extension off. Are we outside of overnight's value or are we inside of overnight's value? We're inside, right? We're inside. There's your 3 for 3. So 3 signs of rotation already. Then we're going to move into the lower time frame. Do we have VWAPs stacked for bullish or bearish order flow versus price? Here's our 24-hour VWAP. New York VWAP is below it. Are we below these for bearish action? No. Are we strongly rejecting these for bearish action? No. Are we trading in and around them? Yes. All right. Chop. How about today's value area? Are we outside of it or are we inside of it? We're inside of it. Okay. So that's like 5 indications. How about the momentum? Are we seeing strong momentum like we had here pre-market? Or are these starting to settle down and go sideways? Settling down, aren't they? Look. Stacked. Are we rejecting options levels to move lower? Or are we just trading around a core? Trading around a core. So everything there, everything there is signaling to you a very choppy day. And on top of that, we could, we can use data to help us. Okay, let's just look at the news today. Monday, what news do we have scheduled? Nothing. Okay, nothing scheduled right now. Okay, where's the news coming? What are we looking for this week? Well, probably FOMC, right? This, even though we have a 99% chance that they're not going to do a rate cut, this is Powell's last conference. All right, people will be waiting to see what he says. All right, does he leave Trump with a big Q? All right, or is he like just calm and conditioned? Then Thursday, jobless claims, personal income, PCE. All right, everyone's looking at that. On top of that, we have earnings. So what do you think we're likely to do this week? We're likely to build out liquidity Monday, Tuesday, use that liquidity Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, Monday, Tuesday effectively becomes your opening range on the week. Right? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday becomes your breakout, fail, breakout territory. Right? That's where we're at. Hopefully that helps. It's a bull market. It is. I 100% agree with you. It's a bull market right now. It is a bullish market right now. There's your free education Lance B will charge you thousands for. Yeah. Hey, but I can't compete with Lance when it comes to P&L. That guy's a phenomenal beast. Gets a lot of shit, but he's actually a great trader. I can't comment on his education because I haven't done it. What do you need to see in delta and volume when we are outside before entering a trade? If we're outside, I'm trying to just phrase that in my head. If we're outside before entering trade. Okay, so you're saying if we're going to leave value and trade lower, what would I want to see here? Is that what you mean? So what I'd be looking for if we're leaving value, which means we're outside of here, right? I'd be looking for this drive back in to be full of aggressive bulls, right? Aggressive bulls in here. And then what I'd want here, do you remember that video I did a while ago? I'd want like a sponge or a big whale in here to be passively selling, right? And I'd want them to put a wall up here and trap all these buyers. And then I'd want to see this, and then I'd want to see this whale aggressively sell, and the delta start to get heavy for this move down. A bit like, I'll try and find one that we can maybe look at. We'd probably have to go back a little while, as in a few sessions. We'd have to go back. When did we last break out? Friday would be good. Maybe we see it in here. Oh, is this too far back to give delta? That's annoying. That is annoying. I'd basically imagine we were in a... Imagine this was previous day's value area low or previous day's low. Imagine this was that. This is the best way of me showing it, okay? So let's say this is previous day's low or previous day's value area low, so we were looking for it to move lower. All right, this is the kind of thing you'd want. You'd want the drive up to be all bulls, aggressive bulls, aggressive bulls, aggressive bulls, aggressive bulls. And then I'd be asking the question to myself, okay, if we're seeing all this aggressive bullish action here, this is why I took the short this morning. We're seeing all this aggressive bullish action here and we're not moving higher, What's that an indication of? It's an indication of that a big whale is sat in here absorbing price, trying to sell. So once these bulls become stuck, what do? They become sellers in the market. That's what I'd be looking for, a breakout of the low. And the other way around for a breakout of the high, if we're looking for a breakout retest of a high, I think we won't see it today. But like, let's imagine this was a previous day's value area high, or a previous day's point of control, or a previous day high. Just a big level that we know. Let's say the market has built like this before. So this is your S&R, right? This is your RBS zone, this zone here. This is what we'd want to see into this. Aggressive selling, but does price move lower? No. We have all this heavy delta, which means down here we have that big whale absorbing, and then we turn and delta starts to go positive and we move aggressively away from it, leaving these sellers who try to sell into these lows stuck. It's the best way I can explain it without having the exact levels, but hopefully that helps you. Like, these sellers just got caught down here again. Look, they've just twice they've tried to sell these 60s. These 50s and 60s have been important all day. What program is that I'm using, Alex? Which one? This is Footprint. This is Footprint on TradingView. It's free. It's free if you're paying for Premium or Pro or whatever it's called. There's a free video on my YouTube for that. Perfect, Alex. So absorption is key for the perfect entry. Yeah, but you don't have to enter on, like I talked about. You don't have to enter on the absorption. You can enter after you see it happening, right? So if a whale is going to absorb here, we should put in a higher low here, and you should see more aggression come in, right? So I'll try and draw it out for you. And we've got 8 minutes left. Price isn't doing anything, so let me just do a lesson here. Just come right up here. Right, think about the trend. We're going to talk about, let's say we're pro-trend bullish, like we are at the moment. Yeah, we're pro-trend bullish. So let's say price has done this. This is all-time high. This is our RBS zone. Here's your free education, right? This is our RBS zone, right? So this is demand. Why? Because it's resistance becomes support. So we're interested in longing in here. Technically, we're interested in longing anywhere in this leg, but ideally in here. So higher time frame pullback comes into this. This is what we saw. I think it was Friday last week, and we'll get the example up. Higher time frame pullback comes into this. This is what you'd look like on an hourly, on a daily. But if we were to zoom in on this, all right, in this, what we'd see on a M15, M5, M3, whatever you want to call, is something like this, right? Here, right? And when we come into this level, this is where I'm interested in the order flow. So inside here, what we're looking for is a pattern like this, anything like that. And in here, in this part here, what we're looking to see is absorption. We're looking for aggressive sellers in here to be unable. Remember, think about the mentality. They are piling in here. Short sellers are piling in here looking for this. But they're in early because they haven't waited for that, right? They're in early. So if they're piling and piling and piling in, and you see delta getting very heavy without price moving lower, there's your indication that there's a whale. So what do we wait for? Reaction, pullback, join. I'm not joining that. You guys can join there if that's how you want to play it. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with doing that. For me, as someone who likes playing momentum, I'm waiting for reaction, pullback, go, because now I can get long with fixed risk, right? I need to be able to have fixed risk. Otherwise, my bad habits from yesteryear will be drift back in. How many of you done this? Long, add, blow up, reclaim, go, right? I wait for reaction, pullback, long, fixed risk. Thanks very much. All right, I think it's the best way I can talk about it. I will see if I can get the delta up from Friday, because that was a good example, what we did on Friday. Where's Friday? It was Friday down here. Okay, this from Friday, all right? On Friday, you will remember we got long, all right? Why did we get long? Because we knew down here, this is exactly what I've just taught. Oh, I can't draw it on NinjaTrader. Oh, so annoying. Hang on, folks. This is why I don't teach on NinjaTrader. This is exactly why. When you're like, why don't you do NinjaTrader? This is why. Okay, so I can't draw in here. But on Friday, we talked about getting long out of this grey box, right? Because this is what? This is our RBS zone. Why is it our RBS zone? Because its resistance becomes support. Yes? We're all following here. Here's your amazing free lesson. Resistance becomes support. So we know we want to long that zone. What do we want to see in that zone? We want to see really aggressive sellers in that zone. What do we have here? Really bloody aggressive sellers in that zone, right? 108 lot, 80 lot, 65 lot, 171 lot, 80 lot, 50 lot. Look at the delta down below. I'm going to shrink this down so you can see it. Hopefully it's covering your screen. Look at the delta at the lows. 734, 48, 205. We are then unable to break below. We now know the average price of all these sellers is probably around here, 58s. So when we start moving away from this, what do we see? Oh, hello, Mr. Bull, right? This could easily be these guys stopping out or just someone being like, no, we're not going low. Fuck you lot. Right? Breakout, pull back. What do we hold? Where are the sellers? Here. Where do we hold? Their price. Then what happens? Higher, low, and we're away, and we're long. So Alex is getting long in here, right? In here for the move away. Look at that, and the move away. Right, so hopefully there's your free lesson. there's your free lesson. I've got to move my chart along so I can see current action now. Oh, NinjaTrader is so clunky to teach on. It's so hard. Come on, chart. Move along. Bro, where can I learn this? I mean, I don't do much stuff like this for free on YouTube because that's genuine edge. But, I mean, I'm here every day. I do trade here for free every day. There is free stuff on my YouTube that you can go and check out. And if you want to learn more, there are courses. flowzonetrader.com. They're all on there. So would I put a limit there if it's coming back to reset test the absorption? Yeah, there's two ways to do it. Like sometimes I'll put a limit to get filled. Yeah, so like let's say this was the higher time frame level and sellers were trapped down here. Just for an example. And we saw this move back in and away. There's two things I'd do. I'll be looking where the sellers got trapped. Are there imbalances? Little things like I visually do this. I don't even need to draw it out. How big is this pullback? Are we coming like 50% to 61? And I'll be trying to think about, can I get limit in here, somewhere in here at a good level where I can get filled and I can have my stop at their point where they will stop out. Sometimes it would be the low. Sometimes it would be above the low, because if I know sellers have piled in here and I know if they're going to exit here, I can use what I've seen on order flow, meaning I don't have to risk the low. I might be able to risk above it and narrow my risk a bit. So yes, I'll be looking for limits, and it won't necessarily be full size. It can be smaller size in, and then as we start to prove, I might start adding in for this break, add. And this probably wouldn't have hit all the targets I'd want. I'd want up here, really, if I was long in this, for example, here, to get up to that point. But that's, yes, I'd be use limits for the pullback in once it's proven itself. Okay, are we there for, oh yeah, we are there. Well done, folks. So you got us to 1200. All right, so we'll give away an introduction course here. It's only 2 hours long. It's just great for someone who's never, ever traded before, all right? But you can always give it to a friend. So just type course once in chat. And then we'll pick a winner in a couple minutes. So ES back to VWAP. They're trying to go upside here. VIX failing. What did we say about crude? Remember I said crude's done the move. 3 drives, broken out, failed. This is why I didn't take any new short positions, because we've seen this. There we go. So we said if crude fails on the next attempt to move higher, that's the backside of the move, and it's going to come back in. There you go. Right, this is why when we saw this, we didn't get long in short in the markets, because this was highly probable. Un, dos, tres, backside, failing to make a new high. That is your failed follow through. This here. Failing to make a new high, we will see backside. That's what kept us out of shorting here. And this can start to get going now. Like I said, they haven't swept anyone. The fact that they've left these in here wouldn't surprise me to see market come up for these. Really wouldn't. Uno, dos, tres. Yeah. Cuatro, cinco, cinco, seis. Offspring. See, I'm showing my age. There you go. Showing my age. All right, let's pick this winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Papa Bear X4. Papa Bear X4. Pretty fly for a white guy. Well, a half white guy. Papa Bear. Let me know you're here. Papa Bear X4. Yeah, nice. All right, Papa Bear. So same thing for you, my friend. Just email me info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged into YouTube. I'll sort you out with the introduction course to trading. It's only 2 hours long. If you want to give it to your friend, give it to a friend. It does give you a discount for the main course, though, if you are interested in that. But it's totally up to you. Right, so I'm going to make a note of your name here. I don't think we got enough. Not quite. Maybe tomorrow we'll get enough for my funded futures. You can see rotation is high volume node. All right. So this is the importance of high volume nodes, folks. See all day in here. Non-stop. Non-stop. All day long. How much is the main course? $699. It's 20 hours. And it also comes with Discord included for life and a version of these indicators. Slightly different one. Slightly simplified, but a version of these for free. So there's quite a lot of value there. And then if you want to do the order flow course, that's $399. But if you do it as a bundle, it's $299 if you get them together. Poolside Trader, $20 tip. Hey, man, thank you very much. There's my breakfast and coffee for the day. That's very kind of you. Alex, they play Offspring, Nirvana, Korn, etc. on my local classic rock station. My heathen children think it's hilarious. That's all I listen to is classic rock in the car. That's honestly, it's all I listen to. Sometimes I might put on like a mix from a DJ that I like, but normally not. On TPT, what did you ask about TPT? Sorry, I missed it, Anthony. If you're asking for the code is FlowZone for TPT. What's going on with Snap today? They had earnings. How are they doing? I didn't see what the earnings are, but I'm pretty sure they had earnings today. And it must have been pretty good. Probably a short squeeze. Probably a short squeeze. Yes, a short squeeze here, probably. And you're probably going to come and revisit this sevens. You can see when I used to trade it back in 2021. Around here. So it's probably going to revisit these sevens. Does anyone even use it anymore? I find it unlikely. That looks like a low volume short squeeze back up off earnings. Probably printed slightly better numbers or something. Did I see the Caroline Levitt interview before the shooting? I did. Choice of words, eh? Let's just leave it at that. The choice of words. What about SoFi? I'm still looking. I would like to pick SoFi up, but we got earnings this week now. I was looking to pick them up. We called it in Discord. It's looking good for a bit of an upside lift here if we can base out. It really depends what the market does this week. If the market's willing to hold, ideally we come back down and in. All right, and we're holding this pivot and we'll look for this move. If we go risk on as a sector, you got to be aware though, this is like a risky name. If we start to lose this, right, we come right back into all of this again. But I'm looking for a swing for that if we can hold. And I'm also looking at the quantum names. But that's for those in Discord. It's part of the advantage of being in there. This is the worst day you've seen in a while. Well, I mean, you have to just expect it, right? We can't go straight up all the time. Like, you got to think, just zoom out of the daily. And there's lots coming this week. Just think about the move that we've had. All right? Just think about the move we've had this month alone. Right? Almost 20%. Your average move on the year is about 11%. So it's almost a 20% move in this month alone. Right? So we need some consolidation before the next leg, because all we've really done, I'd say a little bit there, you could argue that minimal, and a little bit here. All right, it would be nice if this came back in. Honestly, it would be nice if this came back in for that. I'm not sure it's going to do that, but that would be lovely if the market wants to play ball and do that. But you know, we've been straight up. We need to consolidate. We can't just keep printing up, and we're not just going to slam down without something to cause the event. Are we doing an account giveaway, or was it done? We've already done it, my friend. Yeah, we did it already. The winner today was Balaz Bathory, and Papa Bear won the course. So we've done 2 giveaways today already. So asking about resetting a TPT account. Where am I? I can't see that. Sorry, maybe I've missed it. I don't see anything about resetting TPTs. I would only reset TPTs if you've been well in the money, made money from it, and you can't be bothered to really go like do the eval again, because they're very expensive. They're very expensive. What would be my targets for TPs? My upside targets. This guy right here, right? These stops right here, 90s and VWAP. And then I'd be looking for these guys up here. So 90s, and then 415s, we'll call it. 90s, 415s, and then 435s. Above the 435s, you're going to get going again. All right, so 90s, for those of you who are long on these dips here. 90s, 415s, 430, 435. If you hold a print above that, you can get going. But that would be my upside target. Downside target, if for whatever reason we shift and lose everything, which I just don't see happening right now. It feels like a slow drift. Your main target is right here, 264. Previous day value, and it's a put support. This is where I wanted to trade into today. This would have been the really cheap longs if we came into here. Just anticipate chop today. My trading PM is very unlikely, given what we've seen in the AM. I don't think so. I think I'm more likely to come back tomorrow. Bottom ticked and you sold early again. Had the right plan, just need to work on exits. It will come, mate. It will come. Todd Collins, I finished the Flow Zone course today. I'm excited to be on the team. Hey, nice, man. Looking forward to working with you. So trap buyers and sellers if you go long or short. Well, yeah, if you're wanting shorts, really you need trap buyers. That's what supply is. If you want longs, you want trap sellers. I just feel like people don't really not your fault. I don't think it's explained well when people are like, oh, this is supply. You have to understand why something is supply, right? We have supply when there's buyers stuck somewhere above us. We have demand when there's sellers stuck below us. And also when we've moved aggressively away from somewhere. So like think, I'm gonna zoom out. Sellers sold this and sold this. And if they didn't stop out, they got stuck. Buyers who didn't get a chance to buy this haven't had a chance. So they will be looking, all right, to try and buy this. And the sellers who are stuck there will be trying to get out break even there, right? So that's why this is demand. This is the same. Sellers used this. We rejected away from it. We broke above it and held, right? So that became support, right, for Friday. And then we broke above and away and we left them trapped. We now have buyers stuck up here and here, right? And we have this level to trade to. These are our levels. So I'll be watching these this week. These pivots. How do we interact? At the moment, we're just stuck, right? We're just stuck here. If we break down, we're watching this and this. If we break out, we're watching this and this. We don't really want to trade around here. If we think about this as a range, we're right at the midpoint. Right? There's no edge here at the moment. That's why we're doing the best we can to just leave it alone. Not every day is going to be an A+ scenario day. Not for me anyway, with how I trade. Maybe for you guys, not for me. At what point in your trading career did you break even? I actually fluctuated a lot because I really started trading more aggressively and more full-time before the pandemic, into the pandemic. And things changed a lot during the pandemic with the new volume coming into the market as a short bias trader, trading small cap. So I was very, very profitable within the first year. And then once the volume increased and we went 3, 4, 5, 6 standard deviations, lost most of it, if not all of it, and then lost more of it, and then got break even, and then lost more. And then I moved away from small caps after some big wins, and then focused more on large caps, and then probably found my consistency there again. I meant as a target for your TPs, trap buyers, and sellers. There's no target for TPs, trap buyers, and sellers. I don't know what you mean. Yes, we've already done the giveaway. Sorry, you've missed it. Am I buying and trading shares or options or futures? Mainly shares, mate. Mainly shares. I'm going to start playing options a little bit more. Mainly leaps, though. Leaps, and I want to learn more about like iron condors and butterflies, and rather than just puts, calls, and stuff like that. I want to learn a bit more advanced stuff, especially for the market if we go into a neutral territory for a bit, or covered calls and stuff. But yeah, that's not my forte. Options are not my forte, so it's something I can get stronger at, which I'm going to try and do this year. It's on my list this year to do. There are better options traders than me in the Discord for sure. I really like trading on the SPX on the scalps based off your analysis and explanations. I've recovered 80% of my losses this month. Nice, man. Congrats. Congratulations. That's awesome. Yeah, I drew this out last week for one of my traders, but like people ask like what the average trader looks like. I would say if this is P&L and this is time, I'd say the average trader looks like this. Big spike in P&L because they get lucky. Give it all back. Give more back. Base out. Think they've got it figured out. Give it back again. Think again. Break even, break even, break even, break even. Confidence starts to come. Learn a bit more. And then suddenly start to do this because they get it figured out. And that time depends on your attitude and time you put in and type of personality. That might be 1 year, it might be 10 years. But most traders, they look like this. Early success, false hope, think they got it figured out, market tuition, break even, and then start to see compounding gains. There you go, April. That's exactly what I did. There you go. It's very, 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 very normal. This is normal. That's why when traders are like, how long does it take for me to get profitable? I don't know. I know that this is probably your journey, but I don't know if in here you're willing to stick it out and learn. If in here you're willing to cut your losses and get the disciplines, or if you're going to keep doing this phase of swing, 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 because you're not willing to take losses and learn. I've been pretty much break even since October when I started. No bigs ups and downs. Starting to gain some confidence now. Man, that's very, very, very good. It means you're taking it seriously very quickly. Without a doubt, the more I learned, the more I lost. Early success had me thinking I could see an early retirement. I mean, that's what I mean. It's a common story. It's a common story. The learning time frame is fractal. Yeah, I mean, it's true. It's true. It's absolutely true. And you never stop learning. But like for me now, I try and like, I don't pay attention. Like you hear me in chat being like, I'm not paying attention to anyone else. Like I try and trade my way because I know I can trade well. When I deviate from my plans, I start to lose. I start to give money back to the market. Here you go. So you come into your first target here for you longs, this 90s. All right, and through here, hopefully you get a stop run, and this hopefully will take you up to sort of 410, 415s. And ES is really getting going here, which is great. And crude looks like it's about to do another lower high, lower low breakdown. So if crude breaks down under VWAP after rejecting initial balance, that will really help you out. So I'd be taking some profit here. I'm about to get off the stream because I didn't realize that was the time. Geez, been here for a while. Can I clean this up? There you go. So into that big cool wall there. I'll be taking some profits here and just see if you can lift higher, but don't have too much expectancy on a range day. Look, there's your value area high. Value area high, absolute gex, cool wall here. TP1, TP2, TP3. That's it. That's you for the day. That's you for the day. All right, last few questions and I'm jumping out of here. In that rock bottom phase, I just got to keep humble and ask silly questions. My issue is abandoning my plan in volatility. Yeah, I mean, you have to. We talked about this last week, right? Most people will hit rock bottom and quit, right? Why? Because trading forces you to look at yourself. It's probably the biggest issue why. They run out of capital. And then you get into, all right, let's do the emotions of down here. All right, remember this chart. Right, this stage here. This is bullshit. This is false hope. This is you gambling. You know, maybe you went long on, I don't know, a crypto and thought you were really rich and then the next day gave it all back. All right, this stage here is the most important stage. Right, this is your learning stage. This is where you're starting to understand market dynamics. Right, this is where it's going to really work on your patience. This is where you're going to have to look in the mirror and you're going to have to own your shit. All right, this is where you're going to have to look in the mirror and be like, fucked up today. I fucked up today. I moved my stop. Or I fucked up today. I added into a loser. Or I fucked up today. I'm supposed to be trading opening range breakout only, and I decided to buy a momentum long in the middle of nowhere. I got FOMO. Or whatever it is, this stage here, right, means you have to look in the mirror and improve. Now, people who don't look in the mirror here, people will go, oh, it's market makers, it's manipulation, or it's that tweet did this and did this and it's this person's fault and I followed this guy and I did this and that person did that to me, and they'd never see this. What they see is they quit and they go and get a normal job, right? The people in here, in this phase here, who knuckle down and are willing for this to take a long time for them to learn and reflect and journal and mark up charts and learn one good trade and maybe eventually add a second or a third good trade. Those people there get to this. Because I tell you what, I'll give you an example now. If you've been trading, let's even just say the last 2 years. Okay, let's say you're here in the last 2 years, right? What have you had to trade in the last 2 years? Well, you've had to trade in the Biden market and the Trump market. Very different markets. You've had to trade in a VIX at 30 market and a VIX at 11 market. Very different markets. So you've learned two different markets, two different market dynamics. And maybe you haven't been really good in one of those markets. Maybe this current market's been too volatile for you. This is your first time trading in a lot of volatility. Maybe you got caught offside. Maybe you've oversized because you haven't realized, hey, my ATR per 1 minute is 80 points. Could be any of these things, right? But if you're willing to learn, then when this market comes back, because it will die off, and inevitably it will come back again, you're going to get the same repeated market at some point in your career. Next time it comes back, guess what? You're going to be ready for it. Guess who didn't buy dips in 2021 enough because he was such a short bias trader playing small caps? I didn't buy the dips. Guess who bought the dips this year? Me. Why? Because I was ready for it. We were ready for it. There's a reason our swings are up loads. I learned my lesson in 2021, not buying the 30 move up VIX days where we had the volatility where the market pulled in, for example. It's just like one example. So this stage here, you will learn a lot of different things about yourself and about the different markets. And like I always talk about, you make your money from being prepared for the market, whether it's swing trading, day trading, investing, whatever. Preparation is where we make our money. I didn't come into the market today going, I've got no plan. All right. We had plans today. We followed the plans today. We execute those plans today. That comes from experience. And your plan can be, I've got no plan. I'm not trading. I don't know what this market's doing. I'm not trading. It doesn't suit my personality. That's also a plan. There are guys playing small caps who have gone away for a while because they're like, I don't like there's nothing going on. Don't like the volatility. I guarantee you they're starting to come back now. And I'm not even watching them, but like your Tim Grattini's, I'm sure Ducks made an absolute fortune recently on some of those big faders in. All the guys in IU, right? All these guys who might have had a quieter year will be perking up again now, right? So like, it's understanding what you're good at. If you've read any of the Market Wizards, 1-2 trades can change your whole career, especially when you're swing trading, right? So like, it's being ready for that. Maybe you missed the first corn run, but you got the second. Well, nowadays that would be like, maybe you missed the big AI boom, but you're ready for quantum, for example. All right. So like things like that, it's just being available to learn and being in the game long enough that then when the opportunity next takes place for you, you can go, hey, I've seen this before. I know what this looks like. I have a very strong edge in how this plays out. I'm positioning for that. Okay. That's it. I just got king again. I haven't had king for 3 years. I've got king again. I know how this plays out. There's my bet. That's it. That's what we do. That's what we do. Learning liquidity from you has opened my eyes to look at the chart in a third dimension, not just levels and up and down on a chart, but also the depth built out a longer time. Yeah, exactly, Corey. That's exactly it. Jeff, should I set my Bookmap to NQ or MNQ? NQ, my friend, NQ. Anytime you're looking at any form of order flow ever in futures, you want the minis, okay? Because what we're looking for in order flow is what? We've gone over it today. What are we looking for in order flow? We're looking to see where these big whales are positioned. All right, there's this blow hole. All right, we only know where they're positioned by looking at the minis, because they're only trading minis, all right? If we're looking at the micros, we're not going to see a real good indication. Remember, we're looking for the telltale signs, where the absorption is, where they then get bullish. So we follow order flow on the bigger contract, but you can still trade the smaller contract off that. The only problem with that is occasions you will get horrible things, which happened the last few weeks. If you traded micros where, like, say the minis came down to here and the micro sweeps your stop. It's just shit. It happens, but we follow the minis. That was my best drawing of where we at. Thanks, Rich. All right, folks, I'm going to get out of here. It's been a while now. It's coming up to 9:30. Hopefully we had some good lessons today. There wasn't that much to trade, but you guys should have hit, look, you hit your TP here. You're right on this edge. I think we will sweep this. I very, 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 very much doubt they leave lists like this. I think you're going to get a poke up to here. So any of you are long, as long as you've paid yourself a bit, I hope you get that later in the day for you guys. I will watch on my phone today and pop in Discord when I can. We go again tomorrow morning, right? Same thing. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. It might be a boring day again tomorrow. We'll have to see what happens. Hopefully we get some news to shake up this market a bit this afternoon and overnight. I will see you in the morning. Please don't give back any money. If you're having a red day, remember, you don't need to go green today. You can have a green day tomorrow or the next day. Do not sit here and force in action which might not be preferable for your trading to try and get that green. All right, it's a big, big mistake people get used to. Just eat your losses. You would have seen last Wednesday or Thursday, I ate my losses for the day and then came back the next day and went green. All right, peace out, everyone. Use hard stops, all that good stuff. And thanks for joining me again today. Don't forget, if you want to support the stream, all the links are down below. They all go back into the stream to try and provide good information for you. I'll see you soon.